Too Real Live 102. What's happening with you? What's going on? We're live. We pulled the trigger. Here we are. Bearing our souls.
You didn't pull the trigger. You lit the firework is what... We don't pull triggers, do we?
Oh.
Is there a way of pulling a trigger that doesn't involve firearms? Is it?
Yeah.
Is that a saying that can be attributed to something else?
I mean, you can pull the trigger on a squirt gun. You can pull a trigger on your water hose. Like what's his name from Breaking Bad did.
You pulled the trigger on your water hose. I think, yeah.
What's that guy's name? The guy from Breaking Bad. He got.
Oh, the guy
They
who
tried to charge him with.
He played
battery of some kind.
You asked who he was?
Yeah.
I'm trying to answer.
Yeah.
He played Tuco Salamanca is all I know. I don't know what his name is.
Tuco, yeah.
Yeah, he's a really recognizable face.
It's very recognizable, and everything. I mean, we could all probably do an impersonation of him with a couple of minutes of preparation.
He's also super typecast too, so I don't know why you would ever give that guy a hard time. He's like
Raymond Cruz.
I'm sorry, what?
Raymond Cruz.
Oh, all he ever does is like play a like really hard gangster. I don't know why you would ever give that guy a hard time about anything.
For sure.
No.
And
if he asked me to do anything, I'd be like, sure, buddy.
He was like washing his car, and somebody wouldn't get out of his way, and so they got sprayed, and she claimed it was intentional and tried to charge him with a crime.
Misdemeanor battery.
I
can't believe it.
For getting squirted with a water hose.
First of all, that's your neighbor, okay?
Sanity crept in somewhere along the way, and he's not going to be prosecuted.
Yeah. Apparently, they were neighbors, too, so it's like, why? And it was the person who got sprayed by the hose, who was asked to move and then didn't, and then got sprayed, whether intentional or not. Like, everybody says that that's what the story was with that. So the person goes, so the kid, I don't know who it is, like an adult or what, but they go home, and then apparently their dad filed a lawsuit against...
because he's probably... Money!
Against his neighbor.
Yeah.
Which is so dumb.
Yeah.
So, like, great, you just fucking created, like...
They're not getting a Christmas card. No. They're not.
You just created a huge controversy in your neighborhood when you could have just been like, you could have just dried off, or, dried your shirt.
Like, what you should do is like throw a block party and not invite them. In fact, send them a note saying, I'm cordially asking you not to be there.
Because we don't want anyone to get sued.
Cordially uninvited.
Crazy. I don't know, man. I haven't lived in a bunch of places or, experienced a bunch of things, but I feel like I've experienced enough to realize that if you get sprayed by your neighbor's water hose, it is not a big fucking deal. Like the little dinky hose from their house.
It used to be something that happened all the time as a kid. We'd be in the neighborhood. There was a good chance at some point in the week during the summer that somebody's going to turn their hose on us.
Somebody's gonna be like, "Get off my lawn" and spray you away.
Or something like there, or just because look, there's kids.
Oh my God, it is the smallest deal. I can't believe he tried to get misdemeanor battery charges.
And I read the very brief article, and he was quoted as saying it was stressful. I was stressed out over this.
The guy.
Yeah, it's just like it's whatever. I'm sure he just wants to get over it and get on with watering his fucking garden or fucking washing his car.
Yeah.
But it's got to be tempting at least to sue the guy. Just be like, hey, dude, you really fucking disturbed my peace. But, just as a matter of principle. But who has time for principles like that, It's just like, fuck, I got to teach you a lesson, Anyway, he's not going to get in any kind of trouble. He's a great dude, so far as I can tell. And it just really sucks that people try to fuck him over. It was all about they were trying to extort money. That was a stupid attempt at, hey, what if I pay you? Will you go away? I just immediately, that's where my skeptic mind goes.
How would you have dealt with the situation if your kid was over where your neighbor was washing their car? Your kid was asked to move. Your kid didn't move and then got sprayed by a hose. It's so ridiculous to ask. But say that's your kid. You're the neighbor. You're not going to sue. So what are you going to do?
To the neighbor?
Yeah, I mean, whatever. That's the situation you're in. What would you do?
I'm the victim here?
No, there's no victim here. We know this.
No. I'm the victim here?
I'm assuming it's a kid by the way that this is somebody's trying to sue for
we could say a dependent.
Battery on their daughter, right? So I'm like, is that an adult daughter? I don't know. Whatever. Yeah. You're the dad.
I'm the dad of the daughter?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And the daughter comes home and says,
He was washing his car. He asked
Taco?
Tuco Salamanca.
Close to taco.
He was washing his car. He asked me to move. I didn't move. He sprayed me with a hose. I believe it's intentional.
Yeah.
So what do you do?
That's what my daughter says to me.
Yeah.
I'm going to go punch him. I don't know. I'm going to be like, well, I guess we can go over and ask him. Are you okay? Is everything... I would probably make fun of her.
Do you have a dry shirt?
I was like, yeah.
Do you have a dry shirt you can change into?
Yeah. Are you going to be okay? Was it traumatic for you?
Yeah, pretty much.
Do you need me? Do you need me right now?
Wait, straight up, like he asked you to move and you didn't, and then you got sprayed by a hose? Like, seems like an open and shut case.
I think part of the reason why I'm so cynical about it is because I remember I was in Vegas and I was with my in-laws. And not my, they weren't my father-in-law or my mother-in-law, but they were my ex's aunt and uncle. And I slipped and fell. And he nudged me with his leg, did her uncle, and he said, "Stay down." And there was like absolutely nothing wrong with me. Like I just had a little fall.
And you were inside a business.
I was in the Mirage.
You were in the Mirage.
One of them, whatever. Monte
You were
Carlo.
in the casino?
I was in the casino. I hit the deck, and then he goes, "Stay down," like that, because there's cameras everywhere, you know. He's like, "Stay down," and I'm like, I look at him, I'm like, I'm not fucking staying down, Joe.
Because he's saying that if you stay down, and then some authority will come over, and you'll be like, "Oh God, my back, my back." He
got bitchy about it. He was like, we could have got at least a fucking free meal, Dale. And I was like, I didn't need a free meal, Joe. You know?
I'm good.
I'm fucking good, dude. I slipped and fell. There was nothing liable going on here.
I know.
I was not paying attention. I was literally like, oh, the casino, you know, lights and bells and whoops, you know, and that's what happened.
I feel like I spent my whole lifetime working in like service industry jobs, you know?
Yeah.
Where like you're waiting tables or you're bartending or you're, you know, a barista or whatever. And so often there's very, very often you end up with spills on the floor. And I remember being like so overly concerned about making sure that you put up that little fucking dinky like stand, you know, like the little sign that says caution wet floor, because apparently like that's the thing that you got to do to make sure nobody sues you.
Yeah.
And I was just really, really I was concerned about it, not because I give a shit about what my fucking company's going to get sued for or whatever, because I didn't want to have to deal with the fucking hassle of somebody slipping and falling and then making me have to deal with the shit.
By the way, I have more than once almost slipped after seeing that sign.
You saw the sign and then you almost slipped?
More than once. More than once I'd be like, oh, yeah, okay, yeah. Whoa, fuck.
I don't know how it works. I mean, I just assume that if you put the sign up, then you're like not liable all of a sudden.
It's like, be warned.
You know?
It's like you're
But I'm
on
sure
camera.
that's not how it goes. I'm sure you could still slip with the fucking stupid sign up. You
Delicates.
could slip on the sign. You could trip on the sign and then sue. Sorry.
Delicate's here. What's up, Delicate? Jeremy Wright is here.
Did you say you started and nobody was here when you started?
I thought so.
Well, that's nice. That's nice.
Bobo's here. I
folks.
am Bobo. And Alex is here. There are others, I'm sure, either here or on the way. People are just getting in their cars and they're getting on over here. So, by the way, this is interesting. So today I've been getting a little of the one battle after another news and whatever noise. A couple things, actually. It first came to me, you know, Stefan, of course, he's a regular on our live.
Yes. Yeah, we love Stefan.
Yeah, I love him. He reached out to me via WhatsApp and he was like, yo, I want to tell you my review of One Battle After Another. He loved it.
Okay, great.
Like floored by it, thinks it's brilliant.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Thinks if it's not it'll be debated about which PT and PTA is his best.
Okay, but
this is going to be in the conversation.
Here's the thing. Is that a fly?
It's a fly. Yeah, it was a fly.
Are you going to catch it?
No, we had,
It's really fast.
On notice.
I can't even see what it was.
If I catch one on a live ever.
A fly?
Yeah, dude, I'll just play that on a loop. It'd be like, you know, like if you're like a kid.
I'm going to squeal so much that like the audio is going to peak.
Like you're like a kid.
It just went by.
Who's like playing like
dude.
sports and somebody caught like a great catch. And you're just like, you're in your 40s and you just got that shit on a loop. You're like, look at me, dude. I made that catch.
Yeah, there it is. It's right behind you.
Yeah. So,
okay.
Where was I? Oh yeah. So this is so he loved the movie. Thought the movie was fucking brilliant. Thinks that Sean Penn's performance is just so mind blowing. But what was so interesting about it, about his little download on it, is that he said it's really a movie that's sort of talking about the failures of Gen X to save the world. That Gen X kind of just let this whole thing slip through their fingers. Which, by the way, isn't entirely true because we're not in control, actually. We're not.
No, the boomers still have a stranglehold on
For fuck's sake, just look at who's been in the White House
you guys are
forever.
going to get passed over for sure.
Obama, it's arguable that he was an Xer. It's arguable because he's 64, I think, or 65. I don't know. So it doesn't matter. But I just think it's so interesting that he's got this movie that's out that's really rebuking Gen X. And my little art house film, which I obviously would never compare, we didn't have $150 million. We had 40 grand. But my little art house film was really about the hope of that I felt we had for our generation to overcome all the shortcomings that we were enduring. I mean, what we see in Don's Plum is us kind of coming to face with that kind of stuff. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Flipping tropes and these kinds of ideas. And so, anyway, I just kind of had this little like weird moment where I was just sitting there going, he's rebuking Gen X. And I was in 1995 trying to I was just trying to infuse our generation with a little bit of hope and everyone around us with a little bit of hope. Look, man, we ain't done. Gen X isn't done. We haven't even, I don't even think we've had anybody in the White House. I don't think we've had a Gen Xer in the White House.
That's so crazy.
Yeah, it would have been Kamala.
I know. It's a gerontocracy. Kamala. Okay. It's a gerontocracy for sure. It's so funny because you guys all Gen X knows what needs to be done. And you're not being allowed to because the boomers just have a stranglehold on everything. Mostly
that's the case. And I think, though, that a lot of Gen Xers have become incredibly bitter.
Yeah, of course.
Just obviously to the generation, their parent, to the, parents.
It makes a ton of sense.
And then also to the generation underneath, because it's not it's so funny. He's rebuking Gen X. And it was largely really Gen Z. If you look statistically, that was the big surprise in the last election. So who knows? Who really fucking knows who's fucking this whole thing up? Do you know what I mean? And everybody's voting for boomers. The fucking Senate is full of them. And I mean, it's changing, over time because they're fucking dying in office.
No, you don't understand. It's not that everybody's voting for boomers. It's that boomers are being donated to by boomers.
Yeah, I understand.
So
that
the
boomers
ruling
are
class,
taking the spots.
The ruling class, right? The donor class, and then the political, class, right? They're all financing themselves. Oh, hang on, I gotta check out what that was. Did you hear that? I did.
Little Angela's gonna go check on a dog that sounded like it was getting scrambly. Anyway, I don't think the Gen Xers are so fucking... I think we got some Gen Xers in this audience here, in our company. So, what do you guys think? Because I just, I don't think Gen Xers have really had the opportunity yet. It's actually kind of annoying. I think we expected them to fucking retire. I really do. I expected there to be a changing of the guard, and there just hasn't been. And I know that's not across the board, obviously. We can see it in Congress and we can see it in the Senate. And we did, way back when. I mean, Joe Biden was however old when he got elected. I mean, there have always been young politicians elected into the houses. But I don't think that Gen X has actually had an opportunity to truly, show what it wants. And I will say that one of the more encouraging things is what's happening right now too, because I think that as an Xer, I mean, I've grown so much in the last 2 presidential terms as a thinker, just as a thinker, as a common sense human being.
You woke up?
Well, there's some of that. There's some of that. It's more of, I think it's less about waking up, because I don't think I was ever all that unconscious. But I mean, look, time has a way of revealing the secrets, and it just does. And it's almost a mystery. And I think it's just probably because it's the frequency, I'm on a different frequency. I'm seeing things differently than I did 20 years ago, for sure. Of course, and we know that. It's a part of why, when you showed me Charlie Kirk's replacement, who is this This 19-year-old.
I showed Dale.
Disturbing.
I was like the guy that they're now trying to promote to run, like, to be the
Turning Point, the new Turning Point.
The forward face of Turning Point is like this 19-year-old like youth pastor. Like, he was created in a lab to be like he talks like a salesman, and he's like looks like a youth pastor, like the most. He's like so tan and clean cut. It's weird. And he's 19 years old.
Yeah.
And he just like, he's the most robotic creature.
I mean, I just wanted to LOL, you know, when I saw it. I was just looking at it and I'm like, this guy's standing in front of a congregation.
Yes.
And he's 19 years old and he's speaking authoritatively to them in so much as
this whole like rehearsed speech. And it was like, he got all of his beats and he was just like a salesman. It was crazy.
I'm just
I've never seen somebody with like zero authenticity. It's really eerie. I don't like to see it. Like, there's that guy. Like, I feel like if you tried to sit with him and like watch him eat a hamburger, he would just not touch it because he doesn't know how to be like
to eat a hamburger and sit with you
human.
at the same time. He'd be like, no way, there's no way that this is going to come off well. I'm just going to leave it.
Exactly. He like eats his fries with a fork and like cuts them in half so he doesn't have to like make a face.
Half at a time, chewing very slowly.
Yeah.
Drinks from a straw. Never misses his lips. Hanada is here.
Okay, I need to talk about how
yeah, we digressed away from all the things we want to talk about, actually.
These reviews for One Battle After Another. I need to know whether the people who are giving the reviews,
yes,
whether they like or dislike Inherent Vice. I need to know this. Did they like or dislike The Master? You know? Like, how far into PTA's new career are we talking here? Like, how much of the departure is
I have
this
less
one?
curiosity about that. I respect that you would like to know that. I don't care because I don't think one has to do with the other. And,
what do you mean?
Well,
I want to know whether like
you can. I don't think you can like.
I'm trying to judge their taste. If they're like, this is totally PTA. I'm like, cool. Is it like? Is it Magnolia Boogie Nights PTA or is it?
That's why we look at the aggregate and not like individuals. You know, that's why we don't trust just one or two or just maybe a couple of friends, but instead we go to these metascores that have everybody all clumped together.
And I'm so skeptical about it because you said yourself you saw a bunch of reviews for Superman and people thought it was the greatest shit ever.
But this is like the Marvel world, man, where people just live in this.
I need to know who's talking here when they're writing a review. Do they think like I do, or are they wrong? It's basically how I want to know. Because I didn't like Inherent Vice. I thought that it was a waste of time.
You did?
Yes. I mean, I was like, okay, cool. This is a movie that's well produced, but what the fuck is this about? And why does it keep doing
like Inherent
weird
Vice
shit?
Either. I thought I got so tired of the close-ups. I felt smothered by them.
Yeah.
It's just like you got to open it up once in a while, and he just didn't. And I suppose that was an aesthetic he wanted or whatever, but it wasn't one that worked for me very well. And so yeah, I didn't love it for that reason alone. But, you know, I just nothing grabbed me, you know, nothing in the writing grabbed me. I was in the theater too. And I wanted, you know, I was there to be embraced.
No,
by
I know,
this
me
thing,
too.
or to be, you know, sucked up by it. But instead I just kind of felt alienated by it almost.
And so One Battle After Another is like loosely based on another Thomas Pynchon book. And so I just don't know whether I should expect the same thing.
I know the guy's work, right? I know his workload. So for me, I feel very comfortable in saying that I know what he's capable of. So if people are talking about him at his absolute fucking best, we're up against Magnolia. We're up against, you know, obviously Dirk Diggler, and you know, There Will Be Blood. So like,
yes,
you know,
There Will Be Blood. We're
up against these. These are his. In my opinion, these are his masterpieces. These are the ones where I walked away going, okay, so I got touched by a genius today, you know, and so. If this film is at that level, this is the P.T. Anderson that because it's all about that. I mean, you know, this happens with all my fucking favorite fucking musicians in the spans. If they have long careers, they have these fucking records, and I'm like, oh my god, these are fucking amazing. And then it's like, what is that? And then the next one comes, well, fuck you, actually, because this is fucking not even anything we agreed on, is it? And
As a fan,
yeah. And then 2 records later, I don't even know who they are anymore.
I know, that's happened to me a dozen times.
I don't even fucking listen to them. And then all of a sudden, they come out with a record.
Oh my God. So do you remember that hugely famous band, Incubus? You remember them?
Of course, yeah.
So I was going.
They still tour, I'm pretty sure. They
Yeah,
all
I
fucking
know.
do.
So the sound that everybody knows Incubus for is apparently completely different than the sound that they had for their first album, and they toured a fuck ton on that album.
Yeah.
And all of their fans were on this, and the first album was like really like it was super metal.
Yeah, it was this heavy shit. Yeah,
It was super heavy metal.
then they
like
turned into a
mosh
goddamn
pits. Yeah, and then they turned into this like
emo.
yeah,
whatever
like
it was.
emo pop band.
Yeah.
Everybody was like, what the I've never seen a fan base be more angry. But I had friends where like, because I used to go to all the clubs in Hollywood and like watch these bands, you know,
It's like financing terrorists.
Yeah, exactly.
Unknowingly. But just completely unknowingly.
Yeah,
And
I know,
all of a
that
sudden
you
you're
feel so betrayed.
They what? Yeah, it's just an utter betrayal.
All my friends, like, if you even mentioned Incubus to them, they'd be like, fuck that band.
Yeah.
They were so venomous against them because they used to be fans. It mattered. That's how I kind of feel about some of these filmmakers, too. It's like, dude, why are you going off the fucking deep end? We were doing something cool.
Yeah.
That's how I feel about Tarantino.
I don't know. It's just, like I'm just finally getting back into film again. I really wasn't watching in forever. A part of it was the depression and the heartbreak.
Yeah.
A part of it is like, I describe, it's best described in my conversation with Meadow when we talk about the longing for the things we admire, and for the longing for the ability to do it ourselves, to express it ourselves. Mm. And I go through that, every time I see a movie that I just love, I sadly slide into a feeling of loss, of emptiness, of feeling suppressed. And it actually, it'll go, it's like such a wild wash of emotions because it begins with utter admiration, and just love. And this is why it's really hard to see like DiCaprio, especially in a good movie, because I have obviously all these issues with him personally, and then to see him be brilliant, and to see him in something brilliant, while I can't, like, I wrote a great book. People aren't even talking about it, And so it just feels like that's the conflict that arises right away. It's just like, I just have no voice. I have no opportunity because this guy shut it down. And so I can't ever, it feels like those dreams can never be mine. It's, I guess that's it really, is that it's like, it just feels like I'm looking at something I can never have. Whereas like I'd always lived and would always live. I have friends that are in their 70s right now, artists who have not, and who haven't hit, but who have not changed their mindset on hitting. And they're in the 70s. It blows my mind. I fucking love it. It's so beautiful. It is beautiful to me. I think it's a thing of beauty. And that's because there's no foot on their neck. Their dreams are still in front of them no matter what. They're still there.
Yes, but why does the foot on your neck make the difference with that?
Well,
because you could still pursue what you want and know that there's this limitation, but until you're confronted by that limitation, you can still get up to there, and then maybe something will open up where that limitation doesn't exist anymore.
Well, I think the problem that I ran into and am learning now to overcome, really starting with this book, and doing like the things like making small group and grooming that script up, and producing that movie and doing a fine job at that, and working with a handful of writers over the last few years, and just doing these things have certainly sort of stirred the pot again, I guess we could say, or allowed me to believe in these different opportunities of at least some satisfaction in the arena of my love, my life's purpose,
Mm-hmm.
But I think until I started doing those things, it was just like, they put the fire out completely. The fire was gone, from it. I just couldn't even, like, there was no light in the room, Now there's like a glowing ember, It really is the book. And even if the book isn't blowing up and
That's why I'm super eager for you to write another one, because because you have these stories that I feel like people are going to be super impressed by when you put them out. But they're just like living in screenplays where nobody's ever going to fucking read, because nobody's trying to produce a Dale Wheatley film. But they'll read a Dale Wheatley book, and then they'll be like, okay, well, we have to option this.
I was feeling a little down. I just talked myself into kind of a bummer mood. And
Yeah,
I looked
noticed.
up and I saw Jeremy Wright say, McGuire is a sycophant troll, and now I feel better.
It's true. Don't talk yourself into a bummer mood, dude.
I'm good. Fucking A, I'm totally great. Let me
You
tell
gotta be water, my friend.
Huh?
You gotta be water.
Yeah, I gotta be water. I do. I'm learning. Just fucking life is wonderful. Life is completely never ending in your pursuits of it, and in all your pursuits. It's, you don't turn 55 years old and stop anything. Everything is just as full, I don't know. I'm as excited about every facet of my life as I was when I was 25. Do you know what I mean? Or 24.
Yeah, I just saw this video this guy put up where he was talking about how he was warning people who are younger than him because he just turned 40 and he's having kind of a midlife crisis, where he's talking about how much he realizes that he wasted time and he's never going to get it back, and he's like having a crisis about it. Yeah. So he's like, the guy's depressed and he's mistaking his depression for introspection. And it's like, there's absolutely no rules about whether you should be achieving something by a certain milestone, and that if you haven't, then you should, bury yourself in regrets. And it's just like, it's the worst advice ever. Everything that he was saying, I was like, wow, this sounds like exactly like the Saturn return experience that people have, where they're like partying all through their 20s and they hit 27 and all of a sudden they have this like realization where they're like, oh, fuck. Like, my life has to get real. Like, what am I doing? I am wasting my time.
I love seeing like young people hit that fucking. Yeah. It's like they're not wrong either, because it goes by quick, Like,
no, I mean that's part of the journey of like self-determination, right? Like, you find out what you like, and then you're like, oh shit, I have to get serious. It's not wasted time though. This is the thing. It's like it's so sad because he's turned 40, but he's so unwise. So I was thinking about him all day today, this guy who put out a video saying like, advising these younger people, like, don't waste your time. And of course he's talking about like, obtaining status or whatever. He's talking about like working hard at a career so that you have something, trying to collect money so that you can buy a house, like all of this other shit. And I was like, I remember reading somebody say, and I don't remember who it was, but maybe it was like indigenous wisdom that got, shared and can't be attributed anymore, but somebody was like, does like the songbird care about these problems that you're complaining about? Like, does the songbird...
Oh, believe me, I have these existential conversations all the time with the wildlife.
Yeah. Like,
and dogs themselves, by
does
the way.
The bird outside your window worry about lost opportunities and achievements they didn't get to? No, he just fucking exists and enjoys life and like feels the warmth of the sun on his little feathers. And like, that's what you're supposed to be doing
and
too.
Dodges the fucking predators that are swirling around.
Yeah, he goes like hunting for food. He has relationships with his peeps,
Yeah.
Like, that's exactly what you're supposed to be doing too. All of this other shit is completely fucking made up. And you can choose to play the game however you want, right? But you have to recognize it's a choice. So if you're going to fucking bury yourself in regrets, that's also your fucking choice.
Well, that's
because it's all fake.
I mean, that's, that's out of control saying I'm burying myself in regrets.
No, not you. I was talking about the guy I was obsessing about today because he was giving everybody the worst advice. He's like, I just turned 40. Don't be like me. I've like wasted my life. And what he's talking about is like hanging out with friends, building social connections.
McCourt won the Pulitzer on his first book that he wrote when he was 65.
Oh my God, I know. It's like, fine, dude. Okay, I'm sorry that you're bummed out, but that's not advice for anybody. Don't make everybody start like worrying about whether they should.
Again, going back to the great Neil Peart.
Yeah.
If you choose not to decide, you still have made a choice. That lyric is so profound because it totally, it applies to every aspect of your pursuits. If you're 55 years old or you're 40 years old and you're sitting around, or you're 35 years old or whatever, if you've tried 3 times and failed and you're not going to give it a 4th try because you've made up some kind of fucking idea that your first 3 tries were warnings or were a message from your daimon to fucking give up and go back to punching the clock, or just succumb to it, then you're making that choice. You're making that choice. Like Cosmic just said, you're not using a pen name. Why not try write with a fucking pen name? And there's a whole bunch of reasons for that. And there's obviously the spiritual pain I was in. I was in just this great spiritual pain. That got released in this book. Like, I cannot fucking believe. Had no idea. Like, I always thought, oh, this would be cathartic. I had no idea it was going to cleanse my spirit. Do you know what I mean? Like, and make me strong. Like, I feel stronger than I've ever felt since this whole debacle for me began in 1996. So, it's only until now that it's taken all this time because I've always just carried all this weight and all this heartache, and I've never done anything with it because I was, by the way, I was gagged. I mean, I supposedly, because I don't even know, I can't even see it. I don't even know if I fucking signed it, anything, but I'm supposedly not allowed to do this according to the fucking, the NDA I supposedly signed. That's what everyone told me. I never fucking saw the fucking thing. I never read it.
Yeah, there's no way it exists.
But I don't even know where it is. But I lived literally 30 fucking years, or not 30, but 15 years with my mouth completely fucking zipped, believing that I was NDA'd.
Yeah.
Believing that I couldn't fucking speak anything about my fucking past. And by the way, that was a part of what my pain was, because it's like, when you want to make a movie, the first fucking thing somebody wants to know about you is, have you made a movie?
Yeah, right.
And not only did
had.
not only did I, but I made a good fucking movie with a huge guy in it. Like, how do I guess and this is a weakness for me. This is a weakness. I recognize this. But I couldn't walk away from that. I couldn't turn my back on that. And I also couldn't turn my back on the movie. Like, I couldn't feel shame for the movie. And I wouldn't feel shame for the movie.
I think that there's this, like, the reason why you clammed up after you were simply told that you aren't allowed to talk about your movie and what happened to you, what they did to you. I think it's like it reminded me of that. There's that book by I forget his first name. Snyder wrote a book on tyranny.
Yeah.
Timothy Snyder.
I read that little book on tyranny.
That little thin book
on tyranny.
Yeah.
I think it's called.
I think one of the rules about how to deal with authoritarian, authorities, whatever, tyranny, is that you're never supposed to comply in advance. Like, if you think that they're going to do some shit to you and that you're going to be punished for something, don't go ahead and change your behavior in advance to help make that easier for them. Like, they're trying to accomplish a goal and you're going to go and, like, lay down and make sure that their goal is accomplished that much faster.
Yeah.
So it's like, this is what you had done. You thought you had a gag order, and so you didn't speak about it for so long. That was you complying in advance instead of making them enforce that shit.
Yeah.
Right? No, like, you could have just, like, talked and never stopped talking, from the very beginning, and made them enforce it.
Yeah. It is weird. It is weird to have gone about it the way I did. I don't know what I was doing. I was also, like, living in a haze. I really was. I mean,
well, you were punished. That's the thing. You were acting like any creature is when they're punished, where you don't want to incur the punishment again.
Well, goddamn. Well, I feel good. I feel really good. And I think good things are going to come from it. And it might be more books, and it might be more movies, or it might be just me fucking goofing off on a fucking live every night. I don't know what it is going to be, but I will say one thing about the lives that I'm very proud of. Today is the first day that I woke up in the morning, because I got everything done after the live. I prepped everything for this morning. I woke up
that was good.
And I got a whole episode, like a recut, to go on the main channel of yesterday's live. And I feel very highly accomplished. It took the whole goddamn day.
I know, that's a bummer.
So I need help. But
yeah.
But I can do it in one day. So it's like basically kind of like a 36-hour turnover to get them up and live. And then, eventually I'll just hire an editor. I gotta kind of like, 55 and I gotta pay my dues,
Yeah.
55, made 3 films, wrote a book, got to pay my dues.
Yeah, because you're new at this.
Yeah, just the dues come. They come for everybody. It's cool. Jessica Chastain didn't just walk in to Harvard and get a degree. She had to read the textbooks and take the tests.
Who's this?
Isn't her name Jessica Chastain?
I don't know who you're talking about.
The actor. Isn't her name? She was in Molly's Game.
Oh. Is her name Jessica?
Did I get her name wrong? Why do I get all the names wrong? Am I going down, bro?
No, because they're celebrities, dude. You don't know these people.
It's true. I don't. And her last name is Chastain.
Jessica Chastain. You're right. Why did it sound so weird? Also, I didn't understand. She's a lawyer now?
No. She went. No, she
went to law school?
No, she didn't go to law school. That's Kim Kardashian.
Okay, but why did you say that about Jessica Chastain? Now that I know that you got the name.
She went to Harvard. She just enrolled in Harvard.
Oh, okay.
To be, I can't remember. It was like a public, some kind of public servant thing, like public works administrator.
Can you imagine?
Yeah, she did. I'm not even shitting you.
Jessica Chastain, Harvard.
I think it's Harvard or one of them goddamn schools. You know, it's Ivy for sure. Jessica Chastain.
Oh, she's getting her master's in public administration.
Thank you. Yeah, public admin.
What's public administration?
Fucking mayor. I don't know. She's going to run for mayor. I have no idea. She's going to run the waterworks. I don't know. I looked up a little bit when I heard about it. I guess this is why celebrity has, this power, because it's influential. I went and I looked around a little bit, and it's actually a highly sought after profession or specialty, and pays fairly well, high 5, low 6.
According to Harvard's website, the Master in Public Administration, an MPA curriculum, is flexible. You create a study plan that reflects your academic interests, focuses on your personal and professional aspirations, and integrates across disciplines. So she just gets to, it's like...
Oh, so it's just a pick'em?
I have no idea.
Well,
so she just gets to like ad-lib,
admin.
like, those ad-libs that like you just fill out noun, adjective.
She also got into Harvard. That was hard. It was like, hi, I would like to come to Harvard. Is there like something I have to fill out? Not at all, Miss Chastain. We'll have you right in.
In 2024, she also received an honorary doctorate from Juilliard for her outstanding contributions to the fields of film and theater. What?
Yeah. I always wanted an honorary something.
She formerly attended the Sacramento City College and the American Academy of Dramatic Arts.
Somebody over there, if somebody hears this and they can give me an honorary something at something, I want one.
You don't want one.
Yeah, I want to be an honorary something. I'll put it up here. Honorary Dale Wheatley honorary guy.
That's what it'll say, I'm sure.
He's an honorary guy.
We'll frame it.
Jane Fonda, bro. Her dad.
Jane Fonda's a real one.
Her dad in the 40s, along with many other A-listers, they formed a thing called the Committee for the First Amendment. And I didn't know about this until today.
No, me neither.
Nobody did, probably except all the people that were around back then, because these are things that we would forget about because they were fighting McCarthyism.
Yeah.
Which is basically what we're seeing again today. Mm-hmm. And so it was this whole committee of highly influential star people. There was a list. I didn't write it down because you know how lazy I can be. No, I really was working so hard all day. I was getting stories in I was taking 15-minute breaks and reading stories. Like that's how much I'm vested in this live. I'm like, it's 14, 15 hours a day. So anyway, I didn't write down the names. Maybe they were numbers too. There was a bunch of them, including Henry Fonda, who I love, by the way. His performances, and I don't know the guy, me and Hank.
The Committee for the First Amendment. What do they do?
Well, they're obviously they lobby for I imagine they lobby, and well, let's find out. They have a committee, bro. You know what they do? They commit. I did read what it was, and now I can't repeat it because I'm too stupid. Committee for the First Amendment. All right, let's see what the wiki says.
You can write a stern letter.
Mr. Man.
I am submitting to the committee my complaint.
I am from a committee also. We are peers.
I am being silenced.
The Committee for the First Amendment was founded in September 1947 by actors in support of the Hollywood 10. Remember them, of course. During the hearings of the House Un-American Activity Committee.
I know, isn't it crazy?
Fucking committees can stick it up there. It was founded by screenwriter Philip Dunn, actress Myrna Loy, and film directors John Huston. I met his daughter. And William Wyler. Does he have a daughter? So, and then obviously among them also was Henry Fonda and other major actors. And so it doesn't tell me anything about what they do, though, does it? It's just like, we are a committee. It's like, okay, everybody, everyone's on notice. Yeah, so everybody, Lucille Ball, Humphrey Bogart, Lauren Bacall.
Oh my God, what do they fucking
Jules
do?
Buck, Richard Conte, Joseph Cotton, Dorothy Dandridge, Betty Davis, Olivia D.
Is there a mission
Haviland,
statement link? Is there like
Henry Fonda, John Garfield, Judy Garland,
Okay,
Ira Gershwin.
I get it.
No, you don't. Billy Wilder. Just goes on and on.
Yeah.
Fucking Frank Sinatra. Let me see. Backlash, the group, which was generally composed of non-communist New Deal liberal Democrats, was hurt when it was subsequently revealed that Sterling Hayden, one of the committee's members, had been a Communist Party member at one point. Humphrey Bogart, by the way, Humphrey Bogart, he used to go to the Frolic Room, or at least that's what I read. And I sat in there once. More than once. Many times, actually.
What is it you're reading from?
The fucking, what do you mean? It's really actually doesn't, you asked a great question and nobody has an answer.
Okay, but what is it you're reading from?
The wiki.
Oh, on the
It's
committee
the
for the
wiki
First
for the
Amendment?
Committee for the First Amendment.
Okay,
It's
cool.
not really like.
Why don't you scroll down to the bottom and like see whether there's any updates?
No, there's, I know how to
Okay.
work wiki and,
All right.
yeah.
I'm gonna check this out because I'm curious and
The
I don't have
California
an
State
answer.
Legislature, which had its own Un-American Activities Committee, soon branded the committee as a Communist Front organization. Ronald Reagan, who was the president of the Screen Actors Guild during the post-World War II, is fucking Sean Austin going to become a president? Hollywood Red Scare and dedicated anti-communist as well as liberal Democrat at the time claimed that the post-World War II Hollywood Red Scare was a dedicated anti-communist as well as
Okay.
a liberal Democrat of the time.
Can I answer this question?
Yeah.
In the letter about this, the authors wrote, this committee was initially created during the McCarthy era, a dark time when the federal government repressed and persecuted American citizens for their political beliefs. They targeted elected officials, government employees, academics, and artists. They were blacklisted, harassed, silenced, and even imprisoned. The McCarthy era ended when Americans from across the political spectrum finally came together and stood up for the principles in the Constitution against the forces of repression. Those forces have returned, and it is our turn to stand together in defense of our constitutional rights. The letter continues. The group says that defending free speech and free expression is not a partisan issue.
So they probably go to Capitol Hill.
Jane Fonda writes, I'm 87 years old. I've seen war, repression, protest, and backlash. I've been celebrated and I've been branded an enemy of the state, but I can tell you this. This is the most frightening moment of my life. When I feel scared, I look to history. I wish there were a secret playbook with all the answers. But there never has been. The only thing that has ever worked time and time again is solidarity. Binding together, finding bravery in numbers too big to ignore, and standing up for one another.
It's so interesting because, and you showed me this, and it's just kind of coming through on all the social media. But it's like, I think this is like a kind of a thing that's happening really across the spectrum. Like there's a lot of people who are kind of waking up a little bit and they're like, holy fuck, wait a second. You know, it's not what I thought it was. I think a lot of people, especially younger people, potentially at least, you know, don't realize the immense consequences of their vote or their non-vote. And I think they're seeing it now.
Yeah.
Like they're starting to see that, holy shit, there is a lot of power, and sometimes that power, sometimes what's really the most profound act is the act of restraint in that power. You know, you have a guy he's crazy. He's gone crazy.
Yeah.
And everyone's being like, it's just nuts. I mean, today was another fucking just slew of just crazy shit spewing out of his mouth. And, you know, after bringing all the generals in for pictures behind a big flag, and it's just all fucking weird and things are fucking scary. And I think they're scary for everyone.
Yeah, I think that's been the problem of America is that both sides, they agree on what the problem is, but they disagree on what the solution to that problem is.
Well, because we have two choices.
Everybody's...
So we're sitting around with two choices that aren't even ones we get to make.
No,
we
it's
don't
like,
even get to put the choices that we want there in the first place, really.
I think there's one side that sees things quite clearly, but is extremely ineffective and probably on purpose. And then there's another side that just likes to scapegoat everybody, and it makes no fucking sense. And so they are always just like, you know, drawing circles in the dirt meaninglessly.
Yeah.
But one thing that we can always do is unite on, you know, unify about the problems, you know? And I think that I think more people are being more loud now about how we all share those problems.
Yeah.
There's a lot more people on social media that, there's guys making videos where they're wearing the fucking red hats and they're talking about how they're being duped into
that they now know they're being duped.
That they're being duped into scapegoating the left when the left isn't responsible for any of the shit.
Yeah.
And it's
what they're going to find out is that the left is exactly what they think they are.
Mm-hmm.
Which is just a bunch of people sitting around really fucking dissatisfied with the fuck is going on around them by everybody who's sitting there shifting the levers.
I know, it's always been really funny to me because whenever they want to blame the Democrats for evil doing, and I'm like, you don't understand, the Democrats don't do anything.
Yeah.
They don't do evil because they don't do anything.
There's no good or evil going anywhere, man.
There's nothing
They're
happening,
literally
dude.
just eating the popcorn.
They're just fucking obstructionists, bro.
And bitching.
They're not the ones that
and we're obviously
to
talking
blame.
about the politicians, so please don't take any personal offense to what we're saying. And on that note, I wouldn't mind if we moved on. I felt like it was important to address these when they come up because I think this is important shit. We're at a fucking pinnacle point, and I think that it's incumbent on us to speak about it when we get the chance. And this is she gives us this chance. And if it does nothing else, it facilitates the conversation long enough for us to say that, yeah, maybe if we did come together and we did decide that we've had enough of the way in which this country is being run and by whom, that there can be actual meaningful change that we can all agree on benefits us all, because absolutely nobody, even the farthest of the right, mostly the farthest of the right and the farthest of the left, want America gone. Nobody wants it wiped out. Nobody wants it, see it decay into a dystopian state. I know there's this very small percentage of actual Americans who do, and they're Dallas Cowboy fans. They're no good.
I just really, I always admire and appreciate Jane Fonda because even though, whatever, I might not align with her on every single little thing, but she's so resolute. She's so principled. She's never once ever wavered. It's really great when you see these old old videos of her just answering these ridiculously hostile questions from interviewers. And she's just so clear-eyed about everything, right?
Yeah.
She knows what's wrong and she knows to fight against it. And then that's it. That's the end of the story. What else are we fucking discussing?
Totally.
She's great.
Bless her heart. Truly. Love the woman. Glad she's still with us. She's 87 years old and doing stuff. And that's I just admire that on every level. And I know that there's a lot. It would be very easy for her to phone it in. And I feel like she's putting in real effort, even when it's so funny. It's on the one hand you have Jane Fonda fighting for it, and then on the other hand you have Donald Trump who's fighting for money. And he's just a few years behind her. It's she's sitting there worried about what's being left behind. She's not worrying about her future. It's funny that she's talking about how scared she is, but you know what she's scared for? She's scared for her family that is going to be left surviving her. And Donald Trump doesn't give a fuck. I mean, except because he thinks he's got it all rigged. Anyway, on from that and to more good news.
Do you want to hear from the chat?
Yeah.
Okay. Jeremy Wright is with us from the beginning.
Yeah,
he's very proud of himself for showing up early.
Yeah, thank
instead
you
of having to kick in the door
we love having you
after we've begun.
I'm so glad you like coming.
And this was on when we were talking about the guy that played Tuco Salamanca in Breaking Bad.
Okay.
How he got sued for normal shit.
Yes.
Jeremy Wright said, when I was a kid, people threw rocks.
Right.
I would have welcomed the hose to cool off.
No shit. Exactly.
It's true. He didn't fucking throw a rock at her.
Dude, my dad, I'm sure I watched my dad hose down multiple neighbors.
It's a normal thing to fucking do in the suburbs,
neighbors.
bro.
Yeah. My dad even knocked one of them out while we were just playing boxing in our house. Nobody got sued. Knocked the kid right out. He's probably concussed.
He probably should have been sued.
We turned our house into a boxing ring. We moved the couch against the wall. And my dad's boxing with us, and the fucking dick punches my friend in the head while he's up against the wall. So we had these big ass gloves that weren't going to hurt anybody.
That is idiotic.
But the head just hits the fucking wall, and boop, he just fucking falls like a sack.
Dumb mistake.
So we bring him consciousness and send him home. After a glass of water and some ice.
Parents, dude. Some parents are just so fucking willy-nilly with the safety shit, dude. Like, I'm so nervous.
My dad knocked out one of my friends.
I'm so nervous when there's a kid around and I'm like, is everybody watching? Like, is he going to hit a fucking corner of a table? And like, if nobody cares. And meanwhile, your dad is like fucking socking kids in the fucking head.
I'm saying my dad knocked this kid out. And I watch, like fucking a year from now, that kid's going to come, like, do you know what that, how that much that fucked me up? Like,
Oh, yeah.
It'll be like some terrible story that I'm sitting here, yuck, yuck, yuck. And then meantime, this guy's been dealing with like head trauma.
Yeah, he's listening from prison because he never got diagnosed.
Yeah, he never got diagnosed with what is that? What do they call it? CTE or whatever?
Yeah.
God.
Alex has a very, very strange tidbit of information for you.
Well, drop it. I'm down with strange.
Are you aware that there is a stage play titled I Will Marry You, Tobey Maguire? And it's set into the 2000s, and it's about a crazed fan who kidnaps Tobey Maguire and locks him in her basement because she wants to marry him. But over time, she realizes that his public persona she fell in love with is based on lies.
What?
Yes.
They must think I wrote that. They're like, he wrote the play. We know he wrote the play.
You have to find out what.
I want to read that. I would go see that. I would pay extra for the front seats.
That is amazing.
I can't even believe it's real. No, I did not know that. Of course I did not know that.
They must have felt like such an innovator in the space when like Being John Malkovich came out, and they're like, see, you can just write stories about celebrities and use their real names and it's really them and everything. It's so strange. What a weird concept. I love that it was a stage play too. That's so like
I would love to see it.
That's so like determined. That's a person who's like, listen, nobody's going to fucking option my fucking story for a movie. It's not good enough to be a book.
Do you like plays?
Do I love plays?
Yeah, we've never been to one. Do you like one?
I love comedy theater. Love, love, love comedy theater. I used to go to sketch comedy shows on
the Groundlings and shit.
No, I don't remember the name of the theaters. They were really, really tiny, super tiny. But I would.
You must have gone to your next door neighbor. I went there 100 times probably.
No, I never went. Oh, I think I went to a show once. Next door, Dale's talking about next door to the Bourgeois Pig coffee shop that we met at. There was the Upright Citizens Brigade Theater.
Upright Citizens Brigade Theater, yeah. Yeah, I didn't go hundreds, but I went dozens.
I used to get the LA Weekly every week, and I would pore over what shows were playing, and I would take the bus from Echo Park where I lived, and I would take the bus all along Santa Monica and like go to the theaters and just hang out.
Theater row?
I'd just watch sketch comedy. I saw so many fucking funny people that never they were trying so hard to get discovered and they never went anywhere, but they entertained me while they were doing it, at least, LA's so fucking talented, bro. There's so much talent in that city.
I've been there.
If I lived in a big city, I would absolutely go do comedy theater, go see it. I would never be in it. Could never. I would definitely do that more often. What about you? Do you like plays?
Yes, I do. I especially like experimental theater. Not surprising. But yeah, I love going to see plays. I prefer like little kind of off the cuff stuff, like, off Broadway, you'd say, I guess, in the big city. But even then, off Broadway is really big in New York. Like, I've only gone to like plays once in my visits to New York. Only once did I ever, like in that one time with Don's Plum, we went and saw like 4 or 5 shows. We saw like everything. It was dope. But I fell asleep through some of it. So some of it's awful. So it's kind of like, it's like movies, you just kind of gamble. And
yeah, that's why I think I stick with the comedy, because I don't want to be bored. I don't want to go through all the trouble of showing up at a show and then be fucking bored.
And just be like somebody just dropping melodrama on you really badly.
Oh my God, I know, too. Like they're also like right in your face, too. So if you don't like it, they can see it on your face. But I know I'm a good audience member for comedy theater because I'm an easy laugher. Like, I just genuinely enjoy myself when somebody's trying to entertain me. It doesn't really even matter if they're good.
Yeah.
So I always felt really confident being like super close in the audience and not screwing them up. I wish I remembered the names of some of those people. I'd look them up, because now that everybody's got social media, I'm sure that they're still doing super funny stuff.
Yeah.
But I don't remember. It's lost to time.
My mom turned 77 today.
Dale's mother and my father have the same exact birthday.
Your father turned 77 today.
Yep. same year,
Happy birthday,
same day.
Jiva. Happy birthday, Linda.
And it is just the weirdest coincidence I think I've ever experienced. Your mother, my father, same birthday.
Same birthday. Same day, same year. Weird.
I don't know what the odds of that are.
And we're 12 years apart.
Yeah.
On top of it.
And we were born in different countries.
And we were born in different countries.
And they were born in different countries.
And they were born in very different countries. Like we were still on the same
Different
continent.
hemispheres.
They were on different hemispheres. We were in different hemispheres. Entirely. It's fucking weird when you like put our life together that way.
Yeah, super weird. Anyway, happy birthday, our parents.
Happy birthday to my mother, who is 77, and to your father, who is 77. May they be 77 forever. No, I guess no.
Don't say that.
I take that
You
right
don't
back.
actually want that.
I'm taking that right back right now. May you grow to 170. Speaking of growing to 170, Jane Goodall almost got there, but she died.
Oh, Jane Goodall.
She died today at 91. I always get her confused with Diane Fossey. You know who that is?
Yes.
Gorillas in the Mist.
Yeah, they made a movie about her.
Yeah, Sigourney Weaver played
But
her.
she was killed.
She was killed, she was by poachers, yeah.
I wonder if, I don't know much.
It's so funny that I confuse her. This is my foolishness. I always confuse her with somebody that I know to have died.
Yeah, that is a little...
She would come up, and I'd be like,
oh, Gorillas
isn't she dead? I always go through this like, oh my God, there's a ghost. It's Jane Goodall. She worked with the chimpanzees. Totally different primate.
I was reading a little bit about Jane Goodall. She wrote a very short article or essay or whatever when Coco the gorilla died. You know, Coco is a very famous gorilla that spoke in sign language.
I remember Coco well.
Coco could sign like 1,000 words, and I think understood about 2,000. Like to hear them, like understood speech. It wasn't just sign language.
He's like, I can hear it. I can understand everything. I can't speak it so well.
Yeah, I'm not.
I knew a couple of people
I don't
who
know the vocal cords exactly.
I knew somebody who could they could just sit there and like my brother's wife can listen to fluent, fast Italian, totally understand everything. She was raised by two Sicilians who never stopped talking.
Yes, this is the fastest way to...
Cannot speak a word of it.
This is what you learn first, though. If you're exposed, if you have especially if you're brought up in it when you're younger. But this is the situation with me too. When I learned Portuguese when I was a teenager, and I always could understand way better than I could, because finding your own words is extremely difficult. Finding your own translations of the language you typically speak in, like you have to just do like computer work in your head before you can respond. But when it's coming in, it's the same. So you're hearing it in Italian, or you're hearing it in Portuguese, you're hearing it in English. It comes in the same. It's the same information. Sure. But when you have to select your own words,
on you get wet.
Way fucking harder. Anyway, I was gonna tell you the story about Coco the gorilla.
Okay.
That Jane Goodall shared with the world.
Oh.
She said that with her students, because she's a primatologist, and so she has a bunch of students that she leads into studying the behavior of chimpanzees and stuff. And everybody, when they're approaching some chimpanzees that are like playing or doing their thing or whatever, they're in an enclosure or even in the wild, she would advise people like get down on their level, because I'm just assuming they probably don't want human beings to like looming over them, like standing over them. And I've experienced this too with dogs. Like dogs just definitely don't prefer to have you. I mean, we're giants to them, you know?
Yeah, no, how you behave, how you use your body is going to affect the communication you're having with them for sure.
Yeah. So she would just advise people. She would be like, okay, well, if you're approaching them at all, like just sit down, because then you're at their level, and that probably feels better to them, a little bit more comfortable. They at least know you're not going to fucking lunge if you're sitting on your butt. Well, so when she met Coco the gorilla, Jane Goodall was like, sweet, I can ask a gorilla. I can ask them what they prefer. So she asked Coco the gorilla, when you're around human beings, do you prefer that they're standing or sitting when they're dealing with you? And Coco the gorilla, who had a sense of humor, was like, I actually prefer if they're laying flat down. What's the answer? Isn't that great?
That's amazing.
She also relayed another that that Coco was.
They have a serious sense of humor.
They have a sense of humor. She had another story about that too.
Video that always goes around where that guy's standing there and they got the video on him, and then this gorilla just comes up, grabs him by his leg, and just drags him for like 10 or 20 feet, and then just lets go of him, and he's like, "Holy shit!" It's like just grabbed him,
pranking him.
Knows he's fucking with him. Just like, I'm gonna give this guy a heart attack.
Yeah,
he thinks I'm gonna kill him. I'm just gonna drag him for like 10 feet and scare the shit out of him.
I know. And why shouldn't they have a sense of humor?
Oh, it's fucking great.
Can I share another story, or is it boring?
Yes, please go ahead.
So Jane Goodall tells a story about how Coco Gorilla is like Coco has been learning colors, and it isn't just primary colors. Like Coco knows like gold and beige and purple and like all these other colors that aren't just in the primary color wheel.
Turquoise.
Yeah. So to entertain Coco while she's waiting for her meal or something, they're running color games like, Coco, what's this color? What's this color? And the handler holds up a white napkin or something, and Coco says it's red. And she's like, I know you know the answer to this. This is obviously a white napkin. So what is it? And Coco keeps saying red. And she's like, I'm not going to be able to give you your dinner until you're done with this exercise or something, which is like so fucking lame and human of a thing to do. Like, It doesn't fucking matter. But she kept pressing on her.
Stand in the corner.
I need you to tell me the right answer. Quit fucking with me, is what the lady said to Coco. And then Coco grabbed the napkin and pulled off the teeniest, tiniest little piece of fluff that was red and was like, red, and started laughing. Like, it's a fucking gorilla that's doing this, dude. We don't know anything about consciousness or intellect or anything. Like, there's smart creatures everywhere.
No, when we did the little bit on the petri dish brains, science is faced with the dilemma of not understanding what consciousness is or what the conscious is. And so they're sitting there, they're going to grow these brains, and they're not going to know at what stage those brains are going to be able to feel things like pain, feel something like pain, or be able to, or feel empathy or emotion or anything like that. And they are talking about, like, there's a blood-brain barrier they're fucking putting up there, and
but you're bringing up
insane.
You're bringing up brains that are created in a lab, but I was just talking about animals. We think that we're so fucking superior because we have this intellect, and like, they've got a sense of fucking humor.
No, I was talking about consciousness and just how, I wasn't talking about that. I was talking about, you brought up how, we don't understand the depth of consciousness on these animals and these other things that we just
I was saying like intellect. Like we think that humans are so smart because they use tools. Well,
we think we're the smartest thing on earth.
Primates use tools. Like, it's just absurd to think that any of those primates are any dumber than we are. We just have vocal cords, and we have, easier thumbs, and we build shelters, and so we think we're so superior.
I mean, that they think that UAPs are almost certainly not from another planet, and if they are, that they're coming through wormholes, but that there's also at least one ancient race of creatures that are far more intelligent and advanced than we are, living on the earth now. A lot of them think that they're living beneath the surface of the water, but that they're coming out of the water all of the time, that they live and walk among us. I mean, these are videos that are going down by those same very, very same whistleblowers that are out there in front of Congress saying, yep, it's real. So it's just so interesting because, yes, we have always talked about ourselves as being the smartest thing, that we're the most intelligent, the most dominant species on the planet, and even potentially in the universe, which is so funny. But we may not be, even on this own planet, on our own planet. We may not be. And it's starting to feel like it's likely that we're not. As a matter of fact, and you want to just get totally outlandish about it, a lot of people believe that Bigfoot is way smarter than us. And it might be true.
To be that evasive?
To be that evasive. It might be true to be that evasive. They might have a certain kind of connection to a deeper sense of intelligence, or a deeper, intelligent sphere than we even understand. Some also think that they are in themselves an alien species. But now we're getting off the fucking rails. We're going off the rails.
Dude, you can talk about Bigfoot anytime. I love that topic. I think that it's so fucking cool to talk about,
I don't want to trigger people.
Cryptids,
Yeah.
Like, there's people who have seen fucking strange creatures that are unexplainable, that nobody seems to want to admit exist, but they've seen them.
Yeah.
If there's a database where these people go and interview people who have seen, you could volunteer yourself to be one of these like citizen researchers, where somebody will call in to the hotline. I have seen or encountered a Bigfoot. And then you can be one of the people, or, they'll send somebody from their volunteer base, which is nationwide, to go and just interview this person. And there's this protocol that they follow where they interview them and they catalog everything and they try to get pictures and they upload it to this fucking website. And in this website, you can find, you can sort by your state and your county to see how many people have seen Bigfoot where you live.
That's so cool.
So fucking rad, dude. And the stories, because they're basically like citizen journalists going to interview people and just documenting what they saw. So the stories are really, really relatable, where they're all talking about like, I was super freaked out by what I saw, and like I froze and I didn't know what to do, and it looked like it was more scared of me than I was of it. And so it fucking bounced. Like, it's just like wildlife encounters, but they're fucking talking about Bigfoot.
That is so nice. I know my first reaction, unless it's bloody scary moment, like, but if it's some of the things like I've seen where you're like looking and there's something behind the trees and then it stands up or whatever.
Yeah. Oh my God. I love those.
Well, in that situation, I'm going to be more curious at first than I will be scared. Fear will kick in, especially if I'm exposed. But in fact, no, if I'm exposed, I'm deadly scared.
You would be so scared. You could
sure.
see
if I'm exposed, if I'm in a car or something, even though it's like whatever 8 feet and it looks like it can eat cars, I might. It's a weird thing because like remember when we went camping and those bears were right up by our car.
Yeah.
Like I'm not going to be the fool. You ever see Faces of Death?
Yes.
There's the dude who like gets out. He's there's a car. He gets out of his car with some food for the fucking grizzly bear, and then he gets attacked. And the camera is like crazy because it's like back in when they have like little camcorders or whatever. The wife is recording it, and he's like, "Oh, watch this!" And he gets out of the car and he like hands the fucking bear some food, and the fucking bear she's freaking out. Oh no! She drops the camera. Well, the camera does land well enough so that we could see the bear running away with one of the man's limbs.
No way.
In his mouth.
No way.
Yeah, it was Fat Bear Week had not reached its peak yet, and they were still getting fat. And they got fat
so there's just no way that you would encounter face to face a Bigfoot and not be so
terrified,
fucking terrified.
Absolutely, especially like when it stands up. Like if it was in the bushes or whatever, I'm like, I'd be like, look at that.
You can see these videos.
I'd still be cautious, but like curious. But if it stood up and it was clearly a grizzly or worse,
right?
The fucking terror.
You can see that in these videos. You can hear the heart rate on these people who think that they've encountered something, and they're like trembling and they're really trying to record it. Like they're not fucking faking that. Like these are people who actually had encounters where they are like trying to record it, but their nervous system is screaming at them to run.
Yeah. Exactly. Cosmic Urgency. I just saw him say that the Faces of that Faces of Death clip was so goofy. I can't believe that people thought it was real. I didn't know it's not real. Are you serious? It's not fucking real?
It could be that none of them are real because it was just a show that somebody put together on VHS. And a bunch of sickos like me rented it from the video store.
That never occurred to me.
That they were fake?
To this day. Yeah, no, I'm to this day. I mean, I know some of them were definitely real.
You think?
For sure. Yeah, for
Why?
sure.
Because they looked real?
Yeah.
Yeah, it might have been real.
Now I'm fucking pissed off.
But if a camera falls...
I didn't pay for it, but
if
still
a camera falls and it perfectly captures a bear running away with a...
Well, it wasn't perfect.
It
was far from perfect.
Okay.
Yeah. And it was like, look.
Your face when he said that to you, you were so hurt.
Well, I just like this whole time to believe something that isn't true.
Nobody likes to be tricked.
And it's true that I haven't seen it since 19 whatever that was.
Yeah, that's true.
1989. I don't even know when I saw that shit. I was a fucking babe.
Is it bad to talk about Bigfoot trutherism if we are called too real?
Why? No.
Because
right?
is it okay because we think that Bigfoot is real?
No, look, all conversations are welcome around here mostly. I mean, obviously there's some boundaries. We don't have to say them. If they're crossed, we'll talk about it.
I feel confident with it because, it's not like it's like one of these really fucking stupid conspiracy theories. Like, imagine if we said that dinosaurs weren't real.
Yeah, like something like that.
Yeah.
Didn't they just find a dinosaur with another dinosaur in its mouth?
Yes.
What was that?
It was like the dinosaur that was being eaten was like an alligator. It was like an alligator leg inside this dinosaur's mouth.
That's so cool.
They think what happened was it was like pyroclastic flow or something, where like a volcano erupted and it just buried everybody
in the middle of a meal. It was like, oh.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Yep.
So like the fucking meat wiggles and stuff.
Yeah, it was super, super cool. I don't know how they capture all of these. There's all these fossils, and I guess this is why the dinosaurs isn't real. People think that they have a case because some of these fossils capture like a moment in time.
Mr. Hands is here.
Sweet.
Very exciting. Will you go into the chats for us?
Mm-hmm.
Let's talk with our friends.
Jeremy Wright said Boogie Nights was the greatest film of my 20s.
Yeah, it's hard to argue that it's, wasn't a lot of people's. It's hard to believe that Burt Reynolds didn't like that movie. It's just, it's hard to believe because I'm like, wow, why? Because, I loved Burt Reynolds, Smoking the Bandits. I watched all of them. But why wouldn't you like, I guess he was creeped out by how maybe, I don't know, maybe it was the porn side. Didn't he read the script? It's weird. It was weird.
I guess it was just like a kids these days kind of reflex where he was like, oh, the movies they're making these days, they're not like movies we used to make, Didn't
he get nominated for it?
I think I recall he got nominated at one. I don't think it was the Oscars.
Well, anyway, that movie's so fucking fantastic. It takes my breath away. And Stefan said today that this movie might be better than Boogie Nights. It might be better than There Will Be Blood. It might be better than Magnolia. And if it is better than any one of those three, then it's fucking amazing. If it's any better than any one of those three, let alone all three. Mm-hmm. And, there's obviously a line that blurs when you figure out like, well, what is better when you're playing at that level? What is better, one thing or another? But if it's that kind of level, and what makes it, I think, everyone's possibly favorite PTA movie who know the man's work, it's if there's one thing that makes it, it's probably the fact that you sit through 2 hours and 45 minutes and you walk out and you feel like you just had a milkshake.
A milkshake?
Yeah, because milkshakes melt and wherever, so you'd know if it's bad, if it took too long to have a milkshake. That was a good one. Call me out.
Did you want to hear from the chat?
Yes, please.
Several people were really touched by you were talking about your view about your professional place and do you recall when you were talking earlier?
No.
I don't know how to summarize what you were saying.
Okay.
Where you were talking about how it was darkness and now there's an ember.
Oh, yeah.
You recall that?
Yeah, okay, yeah.
Cool. Kindly DiCaprio said, please don't let that fire go out.
Yeah.
The next generation, my generation, needs your art as it's very good quality. And I think this is an extremely great point. There's a certain, like the Generation X, you guys have like a artistic sensibility that I'm really glad that that boomers haven't kept you guys from at least participating in the culture.
Well, I think we've kicked literal ass.
Yeah.
In the arts.
Literal?
Like, yes, I think I think we could probably pull up some stories where actual asses were getting kicked. Yeah.
It just reminded me of the Beastie Boys Sabotage video where they're like kicking the camera the whole time.
By the way, speaking of which, this is not Gen X, obviously, but Taylor Swift has become the only woman to ever sell 100 million records ever. She's also, I think, the only person. But
that's very neat.
She's definitely the only woman who's ever sold 100 million records, which is obvious she's getting that off of her pre-sales on this. So that, I think, pretty much, that's the crown must go on someone's head at this point. But anyway, that's a big deal. It's such a big deal. I just wanted to lay in on that.
Alex said, your book has so many good reviews to not be considered a huge success, to be honest.
Yeah, no. I do feel like the book itself is a success. And I literally, like, those first probably 5, 6, 7, 8 reviews, like, I sobbed. I mean, I sobbed. It was the greatest feeling. I think I put it up there with some of the greatest feelings I've ever felt in my entire life. Because even when people are are really excited and satisfied with Don's Plum. You know, I didn't have my own identity in that movie, or at least I didn't have an identity that anybody could point to and say, that's Dale Wheatley. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And because my work got spat on and shat on by the movie stars that were in it, it has this stigma on it, clearly. And so there was just all this like there's all this, it's just so muddy and dirty, that accomplishment in terms of how it can be perceived. And even at a glance, really. Like a lot of people who reach out to me either via the email or even in comments on the film itself will comment about how like, oh, what the fuck were they so upset about? I was expecting something like horrible or something like so offensive, but I actually really enjoyed it. It's really quite a slice of life from the 90s.
But they went in with that expectation because of what they were fucking told, which sucks.
But the book was like, why the book is such an immense success for me is because I wrote that thing. You know, every word of it is mine.
Yeah.
You know, well, that's not true. There's literally one paragraph that you wrote, like a very, very nice paragraph. I mean, you rewrote, I should say.
Yeah. I probably revised something.
Well, there was just one actual paragraph where I was like, you gave a note and you were like, hey, I just, one of your notes was, listen, I don't know how to give you a note. So I took a stab at it and then maybe you could just work with it or something or whatever. And then I read it and I was like, oh, I'm just going to use that. It was pretty much the whole paragraph. I was like, and it was like a small paragraph. It was like 2-3 sentences or something. But I was just like, oh, Angela, authorship. You know, because I literally, but other than that paragraph, every single word of 170,000 words, other than that paragraph, is my own. And so, in many ways, it's defining me, and it allowed me to be like, hey, see, I'm not just a guy who was along for the ride.
Yeah, right.
Which is what they try to paint me as. Mm-hmm. You know. They try to. I think this shocked all of them because the only person who really knew what I was as a writer and as a creator was RD. And he tried to hang on to me. He tried to keep me. And I mean that. Like, he tried to keep me. Literally free rent and everything. Mm-hmm. You know? He was the only guy who really knew. And then I think now anybody who reads it will. You know, because it's just a full expression. It's like, it shows.
It'd be so great if you were like kept again, like if one of these like film production studios was like that you're their like secret weapon, you know?
Come keep me. Come get me and keep me.
Just pay your rent. You'll be fine. You'll be super happy. Yeah, happy as a clam.
Yeah, like just like, what's your favorite foods?
Grocery bill.
Yeah, just like every day ding dong, and there it is, all picked exactly as I like it.
Felbaumling said, fun fact, I think Neil Peart went 40 years writing music without one swear word. I could be wrong, but I doubt it.
What's up, Felbaumling? Yeah, well, he is one of my great idols of all time. He'll always be. I need to listen to more because Angela's not really into them, and I don't really impose music on Angela that Angela doesn't like. I try not to, at least. Sometimes I do. Sometimes I'm like, hey, I'm just going to play this one song. And I can feel the tension.
We can have headphone time.
Now, I know that there's headphone times, but like, I want to listen to Rush, like, boom. Like, I want to like turn it up.
Yeah, like in your headphones.
No, and be in the house. No, I mean, headphones is not my bliss.
In your Bluetooth headphones.
Not to argue or belabor, our accommodations. I would say that Neil Peart is one of the greatest lyricists to ever walk on the planet Earth. And everybody who knows his work knows that. Mm-hmm. If you read him, if you just read Neil Peart, you don't have to listen to the songs, but if you listen to the songs, you'll find such great translation of those words or expression of those words in so many different instances. The way in which they capture those words and put them out in a altered expression. The words themselves, so precious. If you're a writer, if you want to be a writer, just go read them and just absorb them. And the other thing about that, just to kind of add to that, is like, and this is what I believe about what Neil Peart was to me, what Rob Halford of Judas Priest, who I think is one of the great lyricists in the metal era of all time, and certainly what Bill Ward did for me over Black Sabbath, and I can get into all the other ones like Leonard Cohen and now Taylor Swift, but it's kind of like you absorb it. You know what I mean? You just read it and you don't fucking concentrate on it. You don't let it influence you, on a superficial level. Let it get absorbed into your subconscious. Let it be Like let those things that you love about it resonate within you. And then when you do, you'll kind of like almost shake loose your own versions of them, and they'll come out in your own specific voice. But it requires you to surrender to the things that you've wanted to aspire to, and not actually try to physically understand them and put them into work. If that makes any sense. Mm-hmm. Consciously trying to be somebody else, or consciously trying to infuse inspiration of a specific artist sometimes can really lead to a real bad mess. Like sometimes people will send me emails and be like, hey man, your movie inspired me to make this short, and they'll send me this short. And I've gotten a few of these, and honestly, like when I see the work, I'm like, I wish instead of you wanting to try to create something that was Don's Plum, that you were showing me work that got felt and then expressed in its own way through you, if that makes sense. Mm-hmm. All right, I've gone on about that.
Damon Child wants to know, because I mentioned it earlier, which film was it where you thought Tarantino fell off? Do you have this opinion too, or just me?
No, I do. I think his editing, the editing changed. You can feel it in his films. The films changed. Do I think he became a bad filmmaker? No, I don't. I don't. I kind of fell off myself. I stopped watching him basically.
Because he started working with DiCaprio too.
Well, he did one.
He did two.
Oh, he did too. That's right. That's why I didn't see Django.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Django and Hollywood, or yeah. Hollywood.
My answer to which film was it where you thought Tarantino fell off? It was literally 2010 was when Sally Menke passed away, mm-hmm. and that was his longtime editor, and she was responsible for. Damon Child said that Jackie Brown is my favorite film by Tarantino. So Sally Menke edited that one.
Yeah, Jackie Brown is definitely. I think it's his most underrated movie and might be his best movie. But then I can't really say that because it's the best I've seen.
So she worked on all of Tarantino's movies. So like all of the old ones we know then. Jackie Brown, Kill Bill Volume 1 and 2, Grindhouse, Death Proof, Inglourious Bastards. That was her last Tarantino film.
Inglourious Bastards.
So everything he made after, I felt like was very obviously by a different filmmaker. So strange. It was like she must have just been responsible for all of the pacing. Well, there's like a clarity of storytelling that she was apparently responsible for. He fell off, and the editor that he used after that was the Fast and Furious editor. Yeah, so it's like completely different.
Let me explain a little something that might be really interesting to you. So, and this may not be true for him, mm-hmm. but based on what we see in his work and the fallout that you're describing, and you're not the only one who talks about this, it might be so. Old school Hollywood, old school directors would work with editors like during the screenwriting process. Like they'd be in the rewrites because they'd be saying like, "Hey, what do we do here? What do you want to do there?" Now, a lot of people who are in the screenwriting world, they'll tell you not to write camera, and I'm a big fan of writers not writing camera. I don't think that that's their job. I think the camera is supposed to be written by the director and the DP. And not by, I think your writing can suggest angle and can suggest things like close-ups because it's causing drama, humor. It's describing things that are wide as opposed to things that are close. These kinds of things without actually putting cameras in, camera angles. So what I mean by that is like if you're reading screenplays, you'll hear that you can read things like angle on or cut to close up or two shot or push in and see and these kinds of things. I fucking hate that in screenplay. I just personally don't like reading it. It takes away from what I'm trying to figure out in my own world, which is the movie that's before me.
P.T. Anderson does that a lot in his screenwriting.
But he's the writer-director, so that's a totally different thing. So the point that I'm trying to make there is that when the director gets involved in a movie that say doesn't have that, or even when it does, they start ripping it apart. They most certainly work with the director of photography on that, and certainly old school directors would work with their editors, especially if they have long time collaborative.
Like partners. Scorsese. What's her name?
Yes, of course. God, of course, you just ripped it right out of my fucking memory as soon as you asked.
I feel like I remember.
But the point isn't, whether or not, we get their names right, but the point is more about how deep that collaboration can go. It can be much more.
Thelma Schoonmaker.
So Thelma Schoonmaker, exactly. So now Tarantino, you talked about having the Fast and Furious editor. He probably has a very limited collaborative relationship with him or her compared to what he'd had with Menke.
Dude, that makes so much sense because it fucking shows. So
that means when he's writing, he'd be like, he might even call her up, Sally, dude, like, I'm thinking about this and then that. And she'd be like, well, the problem you might have is this. And then he'd be like, well, how do we get around that? And she'd be like that. If it was like that, I know I could cut it like this. And that'll come
smart.
into the boarding and the actual screenwriting in some cases. Mm-hmm. So there you go. But Sally Menke, look, there was a big fall off. I have to remember the names now because it's been so long. Let me go look this up.
But it turns out that I wasn't a Tarantino fan after all. I was a Sally Menke fan because as soon as she left the duo,
Well, I mean,
I don't like his movies anymore.
my guess is that Sally Menke would say, "Don't be silly," because clearly you liked Quentin Tarantino's movies.
No, but he does so many things that are so fucking stupid now that I never saw in his movies before. Like
Right.
like for instance, like to pause in the middle of the climactic finale of Django Unchained to pause the film and basically have a fixed camera on a horse dancing for like 5 straight fucking minutes. Like it was so obvious that he had the horse handler on set and the handler was like, "Oh, hey, Tarantino, I don't know if you know this, but this horse right here, this horse can do dancing. It's been trained to do dancing." And he was like, "I'm putting that in the movie." But because he doesn't have any fucking sense, he put it in the middle, like completely deflated all of the tension, all of the climax by just like shoehorning it in the middle of his fucking climactic scene. It was so crazy. I was like, what are we doing? What is this? This is a bad decision. And his editor should have told him no.
Yeah, well, and this is what I'm talking about. Like, these are the different instances where, you're going to get a different, and there's also like the respect level, and it's not just the collaboration, but it's also like the trust. Like, he probably had a much deeper trust in Sally Menke than he'll have in anyone else ever at the controls. Mm-hmm. Also, spending that much time with Sally Menke had to have made him believe that he had absorbed a great deal of her technique, her intuition.
Yeah, she made him look awesome.
There's no question that they collaborated to the extent that they both probably had sort of imbued each other with, their creative spirit. Mm-hmm. And so he might take that in a way that's like, a little too Zeus-like, a little too confident, a little too like he might think he's more than he actually is. Going in with another editor. So there are just all these different reasons why, changing from somebody that, and Spielberg had one too, I think I'm trying to figure out. Let's see.
I remember everybody that I knew in Hollywood, like, I don't like know Hollywood people, but I feel like every one of my friends was like a big fan of filmmaking and trying to be involved in filmmaking. Everybody.
Right.
That I knew the whole time I was in LA. And I remember when she passed away, it was kind of devastating. Everybody was really shocked. Do you remember this? Because Sally Menke had an accidental.
Of course I remember. I was in a complete state of, I was living there, and the idea that this woman went
a really
for
big
a
deal.
fucking walk.
Yeah, she went for a hike up in the Hollywood Hills along these trails that everybody uses. Everybody does that. If you want to go clear your head, you go up the mountain. The Hollywood Hills. There's a bunch of hiking trails. It's just like totally common, normal thing to do. And she took her dog for a walk, and then they found her deceased.
Yeah.
Not responding or whatever.
Anyway, so yeah,
up in the
editors
hills.
matter.
Huh?
That was we answered that question forever. What's the next one?
Let's see. Cosmic Urgency wants to know, did you see that the last Indiana Jones apparently cost $419 million to produce? Wild if true. I don't understand the thinking behind studio budgets.
Well, I can tell you about the thinking behind studio budgets.
Tell us.
The thinking behind studio budgets is everybody wants to get as much of the oligarchy money as they can up front. And so they sell out the back end to the bone. And they take it all up front. And so, look, when you run into a big pot of money that, trusts the franchise beyond, this is like, James Cameron and so on and so forth. I mean, these guys are taking monster fucking fees, man. Monster fees. Because there's a big, giant pot of money that's practically endless. And they also have The math is there. So these producers, they'll sit down and because they know what these franchises can do. They know what the life is. They have all the data. So they can sit there and they know what the fucking value of the movie is based on its history, on the franchise's history. So, and if they can sell the studio on the script, meaning that they can sell the idea. A lot of people don't know that I came up with a Children of the Corn franchise called, a sequel. It might be the last one, but I came up with Isaac Returns. That's my movie. And,
so fun.
I had these incredible, I had this incredible hope for this movie. I thought this movie could go straight to theaters. I'd figured out using, getting religion out and combining religion with the metaphysical or the new agey kind of shit, that I could find a way to resurrect Isaac. Because Isaac was everybody's, it was I was terrified of Isaac. Did you see Children of the Corn?
Yes.
Okay.
I'll watch it again, though. I like that one.
Isaac, obviously, Malachi is fucking scary in his own right, but nothing's more scary than Isaac coming up and saying, he wants you too, Malachi. Come on, forget about it. I'm all fucked up. That never left me.
I love the horror genre of demon-possessed children, because I think
that one was the greatest.
Anybody who's ever been around kids is like, this thing's kind of creepy. I think it's just so easy to tap into that, paranoia about kids. Especially those stories that new parents will tell about how their kids are telling them super spooky, paranormal experiences or something.
Yeah. My mom said some shit that I don't believe now. She said something about a cat came, she used to collect ornamental cats. And one of her ornamental cats hovered down to the ground. Didn't fall. It hovered down, she said.
Are you serious?
I'm calling bullshit, though.
Is your mother hallucinating, or is she having paranormal experience?
I think they were having ghost stories, and they're well, I had one. It was so scary. That one right there. It's that. That's just how I feel. I'm just cynical.
Meanwhile, you're super cynical and skeptical about it, and she's got carbon monoxide poisoning or something. Something actually really happening.
I had a point for bringing up my Children of the Corn.
Oh no,
story.
The question was about these insane budgets. $419 million to make the last. Indiana Jones.
People know the money's there. They're going to take it, and they have something to leverage. If you have something to leverage, then you can just take the money. And again, they know ahead of time, how really what the franchise is worth. So they know how much they can push the pot. It's all coming in salaries mostly. Obviously there's gear and things. They have locations, all this other shit, but. It's just people taking money.
Yeah.
And I don't fucking blame them one bit. I really don't. These fucking guys just take the money and they run. They don't give a shit. They strip you. And then when you get back end, most of the time now it's, everyone's once bitten, twice, thrice shy. So there's a lot more of people getting the right deal in terms of the definition of their back end. What I mean by that, just briefly, is that back in the day, they'd be like, tell you what, you're a big star kid. I'm going to give you back end. I'm not going to give you all the money up front because you're going to make all the money on the back end. And then they write the definition of what their back end is based on certain expenses coming out first, which can include, for example, the recoupment of the budget, the recoupment of the P&A or prints and ads budget, and deferments. There's just any number of things. Well, they just keep piling things on there on that, and they call it some kind of producer's net. Mm-hmm. And it ends up these actors or whatever talent might have had this kind of deal, because you can also give this same kind of deal to something like director of photography, for example. And, yeah, dude, it was just a way for them to so I don't blame them, because they've been fucking actors and everybody else for decades and decades and decades. You go all the way back to Mac Sennett and the fucking shit he pulled with Fatty Arbuckle. Come on, forget about it. You guys read about it in my book. But, shit is evil. They take the money. Mm-hmm. So I think now they just have more leverage because they have the data, they have the success. They already know it's $1 billion movie in the end. So they go and get the money.
Mr. Hans 57 wanted to ask you a question.
Yeah.
Mr. Hans 57. Is it true that you wanted the Christmas tape as part of your court case, but Ethan simply ate it in front of the judge and then proceeded to sing his American History X song until the judge threw the case.
Yes.
Is that what happened?
Exactly what happened. Note for note.
You heard it here first.
You heard it here first. 100% that's what he did.
That Ethan simply ate it. He did say in his deposition that he was going to destroy it.
He did.
And so maybe in his mind, he was thinking eating it. He didn't specify, but when he said destroy, maybe he meant like hungry hippos. He was going to like just chomp it
Just eat
until
it.
it was destroyed.
Yeah, well, because, he definitely had the ability to eat things.
Nobody asked. The lawyer did not ask a follow-up question about how he was going to destroy it. So we could just leave it up to our imagination.
No, the lawyer's follow-up to that was and some advice to not do that and break the law.
You cannot destroy evidence without breaking the law.
And they let him get away with it anyway. You know what I mean? It's not like we got any of our we didn't get that tape. Never.
Mr. Hans, 57, is telling Cosmic Urgency, you too are implicated in the disappearance of Jerry Swindoll, and I hope you're able to reconcile that with yourself.
It's the fucking best, dude. Whatever happened to Jerry Swindoll?
I can't believe you're laughing about something so serious, Dale.
Jerry Swindoll,
He's still missing. Jeremy Wright said that Burt Reynolds deserved the Oscar.
I thought so.
Mark Wahlberg deserved the Best Supporting Actor. And Paul Thomas Anderson deserved Best Director and Best Screenplay.
Probably true on all
I love
fronts.
that Mark Wahlberg deserved Best Supporting Actor after Burt Reynolds. That's funny. Lisa Thames is on my side relating, said I so relate about the headphone situation.
The headphone situation.
Well, sometimes you live with somebody who listens to music that you don't like. And sometimes you have to just accommodate because you want them to have a nice time.
Oh, I just figured out.
And if they're in the mood to listen to that music, they should. But if that person recognizes that you're miserable as a result of listening to their music.
Yeah.
Because I'm not going to stop you from listening to your music. I understand. This is your
I'm a very
place.
considerate
You are extremely considerate.
person to live with.
In fact, you noticing that I was miserable about it, it's not like I was making a big stink or like pouting or anything.
No, I can just feel it.
You could just tell.
I can feel the
that
room.
you changed your behavior is very sweet. But you really don't have to because I can just be fucking miserable. It's fine.
Well, I prefer
doesn't
joyous
matter.
occasion, and I will find Rush and me will never be done, and I almost didn't get to see him. Like I didn't get to see Metallica. I didn't get to see a lot of my like absolute idols, but I got to see Rush, and I couldn't feel luckier that I had the opportunity. I got to bring two guys who didn't really know them well at all, and they came out of there just changed, because you can't be in the room with those three men putting the songs together that they put together and not walk out of there completely amazed because they did something so special, and it's on display every time they play. Mm-hmm. It's just utterly amazing what they can do. And what they did, I mean, Neil Peart, used to speak about Tom Sawyer as like the most challenging song he played. And he was like, he loved playing it, but he was always worried that he was going to fuck it up because, I mean, imagine making, your songs so difficult. And it's not because, and what I mean by that is like, you put so much into them that you can't play them. It's kind of like the drummer for Pearl Jam,
What about him?
He retired.
He did.
Yeah, because he's like, I can't keep up, bro.
Yeah.
It's a rap. You got to get a young guy.
Dude, it's got to be hard to be a drummer for the long time.
For sure.
I had a friend that was a drummer. He was excellent. He was like really sought after with all of our friends' bands
Miles,
wanted him.
yeah. Is that the guy?
No.
Oh.
No, this was in high school. Huh. And the
I'll take it back.
Dale's mentioning somebody I used to work with at the coffee shop. But this guy, he was really sought after. And then I remember that he was like devastated because he finally met with like a mentor drummer. He was like, listen, everybody wants me in their bands. I'm really fucking awesome at this. So he was super smart. He went and sought out somebody who was a professional drummer. And the guy told him that he is going to ruin his wrists. He was like, the way that you're fucking playing sounds awesome, but you're going to fucking torch your body. Your ligaments are going to be done in just like 5 years. You're going to have no longevity. So he was like devastated. He was like, I have to relearn how to play. So it just makes sense that that there's so many who just that the Pearl Jam drummer would be like, I can't do it anymore physically. Like it's such a
same with Bill Ward.
It's like being a high level athlete. You can't do it forever.
Yeah, Bill Ward. Like the last Black Sabbath record with Rick Rubin. Mm-hmm. Bill Ward didn't play on it, and that's why like Ozzy just before he died, he was being interviewed about it, and he said, like about it, he was like, it wasn't Black Sabbath. It wasn't right, and they were like, why? And it was like, well, I love Rick Rubin, but he didn't know what we were. And Bill Ward wasn't there. Bill Ward he was the heart and soul of that band. I mean, people don't know that, but Bill Ward was the fucking heart and soul of that band, just like Neil Peart was, but Bill Ward is just worn out. Couldn't fucking do it anymore. And yeah, his memoir is supposed to be brilliant. I got to read it. I don't know why I think like I have to get over my fear of I don't want to. I want to live my life as an imposter, and I don't want to. I don't want to be exposed by the things I read, especially memoir.
Think you're an imposter?
Well, here's the thing that happens. Is I know that I'm talented. I know I'm not fishing for compliments. I know that I'm talented. I know I can do shit. But I feel the imposter syndrome.
You just feel like you're not as good as these other memoirists. So you don't want to read memoirs?
I feel that quite strongly. Yeah. Yeah. So it's just a weird thing, but I got to read his.
But you're not going to be as good as every writer.
I don't want to be either.
You don't want to be
I
either.
need to get over it. I need to be, it's more fear of insecurity. It's
you know what though?
Insecurity.
You know what I know?
I have fucking mad reviews. I need to show
No,
up.
I know. And nobody writes dialogue as good as you do. And nobody is.
I mean, sure. Sally Rooney's a fucking badass.
She doesn't even use punctuation, bro.
To write dialogue, you don't need to. I wrote my entire first draft of this book, 230,000 words, no punctuation, not one, nothing. Maybe an apostrophe, but that's it.
And that's when I was like, I am not going to edit your book.
Yeah, you refused to edit my book.
Until you fix this.
So I had to go and I had to do the
Because I'm just not going through it, man. I'm not going through like trying to decipher and fix like how, like when you don't want to use the thing everybody uses to
I'll tell you though, I would recommend it for any writer.
To just write straight.
It's just,
just get it down.
When I stopped using punctuation,
yeah,
I just wrote like in a stream.
Yeah, that's so smart.
Because he's not thinking about periods and commas and whatever else and going back and, that's supposed to be a comma. Should I use a colon here or a semicolon?
Yeah, that's smart.
Yeah.
Cosmic Urgency wants to know, did you guys hate Patterson or did not finish or not watch it all?
Oh, we're going to watch it. I didn't see it. I couldn't work last night. I was just too.
You had a headache last night.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I do. And it's still there. It'll be gone today though. I know it's giving me these headaches now. I think it's oyster sauce. I think that's it. It's either that or it's Shaoing wine.
Dale makes homemade Chinese food sometimes, and he's just starting to put together that maybe it gives you headaches.
Yep.
Bummer.
Yeah, my guts, bro.
So when you had a headache for like a month straight, it was just because you
kept we were binging on it. Remember?
Because you were just eating a ton of Chinese food.
I was making it every day because we were getting loads of greens, and it was just like
really good.
Amazing healthy stuff.
You're like, oh, do you want like ginger rice and tofu and greens again? Like, yeah, obviously, yes.
Yeah, it's delicious for
so
sure.
Good. So I don't know how much I want to watch a movie, like sit down and focus on a movie after we're done with lives. I always feel it's
just like, because this is
scatterbrained.
It's a lot. We go through a lot, whatever. It's energy. It's a lot of energy. It's definitely like my unwind moment, especially now because like I work from, I don't know what it is, like probably 9 in the morning and with these lives. And then I go to about 10 because after the live, I'll go and process all this stuff. Mm-hmm. And now I've got the workflow where I'm going to complete some things.
But I love that we're watching movies on the weekends.
So it is hard to like watch a movie after that.
If you want to do like wall to wall movies all weekend to make up for what we didn't watch.
Well, I do. I want to watch.
I would do that.
I want to watch movies because first of all, I'm excited to do it again. I love sharing with people my thoughts on them. I think that I offer some insight that helps. I think people who are also creatives.
You definitely do.
Recognize, some of the things that they see.
Yeah.
I
love your perspective on it too. Where you're like, oh, that was a mistake. I'm like, oh, tell me, like, what did he do?
Yeah, and I can pick them apart critically. I love doing that for commercials as well. It drives you a little crazy sometimes, but man, I love great media. I just love great media, and I love picking it apart. It's kind of like I feel like it's my job. I'm a producer. My whole purpose in filmmaking is to find the problems and fix the problems. That's literally the producer's job, is to fix every single problem, and everything is a problem.
Oh, speaking of which, Kindly DiCaprio asked, what is back end? You were talking about it earlier.
Yeah, back end is profit points. If you say that your movie has 100 percentage points of value, representative value, You can offer percentage points to actors and or crew in lieu of or in addition to whatever you might pay them.
So back end is basically just a small share of the profits that the film made.
Whatever profits the films make, yeah.
So when somebody says, I made that film and I have back end, that means that they get a share of the winnings from the
We talked about it
distribution of the
yesterday
film.
with Jim Jarmusch,
Yeah.
who Bill Murray got back end for on Broken Flowers, and for which Jim Jarmusch was profoundly grateful because it was with that money that he was able to give his mother the most comfort and care he could during her end of life.
Cosmic Urgency said, I bought Normal People for $1, so I'll be reading it eventually.
Ripped through it. I loved it.
That's Sally Rooney.
Sally Rooney, yeah. I've read everything of hers except for her latest book, which I'm going to read. I'm going to read it momentarily, actually. I'm going to rip through that motherfucker. She is exceptional. And you'll actually, you'll see why I like her. As soon as I read her, I was like, oh my God, we're like,
Twinsies.
she's way smarter than me, but she's like this super academically profound person, whereas I'm kind of like, I'm from that street in Winnipeg, you know. I'm a bit more like I'm a bit street, you know.
Mr. Hans 57, he's just picking on Cosmic Urgency. It's so funny.
Is he really?
He said, Cosmic Urgency, you need to be in more movies, dude. You and those eyes.
Oh, because I said
because we were saying that Cosmic Urgency is Scott Bloom.
We said he was Scott Bloom, and everyone just believed us.
And then Kindly DiCaprio was asking, well, what are your movies? And then Hans 57 comes back and he goes, The Stuff, Don's Plum. He's Scott
You don't know
Bloom.
a lot.
So Kindly DiCaprio is confused. He's Scott Bloom? Cosmic Urgency has neglected to identify him or herself to us, and so we're just guessing now.
No, I know. Well, and we're holding him to being somebody because I've offered to send him a signed book.
And he's like, yeah, that'd be great. And then
absolutely
doesn't.
fucking not.
Yeah. Also,
I'm not giving that motherfucker my address. He's like,
somebody
you
that
dox me, bro.
Somebody that recommends that we watch the movie The Stuff, which features Scott Bloom when he was very young.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, that obviously is Scott Bloom.
It must be Scott Bloom.
Mm-hmm.
So we consider him. Because we have talked about it a lot.
And the other day, we were talking about how it would be interesting if some of your old friends actually wanted to hang out with you, but they didn't want to disclose their identity because that would make everything weird. And so maybe they're just hanging out in your comment section with pseudonyms.
It's funny, too, is that we're all George Carlin fans. And he has, you know, the stuff bit? You know, his stuff bit?
Yes. You have to get a bigger house for your stuff.
For your stuff, and then
Yeah.
you get a bigger, you can keep,
You
so
have
you
to
can put more
upgrade.
stuff in it.
Yep.
It does drive me crazy. He created for me, did George Carlin with that bit. He created with me like some kind of hoarder type mentality.
Oh,
like
yeah, dude.
Anti-hoarder type mentality. Like ever since he said that shit, I was like, do I need this in my house?
No, I know. Well, you know, he was talking to a generation of people that had collections. Do you remember that all of our boomer parents had like, do you remember you'd go to your friend's house and their mom would like inexplicably have like a collection of masks, like porcelain painted masks with
Yeah.
ribbons and stuff hanging on their wall?
Not my mom, but yeah.
And like other people's moms would have like, and I'm saying moms because like
Spoons.
dads don't do
I
this
was
shit.
my generation of every parent's fucking every house.
That
would,
is like-
they would talk about their spoon
what is
collection.
that? That's like a
Silver
depression
spoon.
era thing. I think that's like pre-boomers, like
Fucking
the
hanging on walls and shit. My mom had so many spoons, and my dad was a tour bus driver for basically Greyhound. So he would go on these tours with women. It's like cruises, but on a fucking bus. Like you think cruises are fucking like, what the fuck are you doing on that? Well, try doing that on a fucking bus. And they would travel all over the United States, down to Mexico, up to Alaska. I mean, they fucking drove like across the country. And my mom would go along as my dad's tour guide. So they were like this duo at this company. It was fucking hilarious. And they'd leave us for 3 weeks. We would just get drunk and high. Like it was bad. We would party. I got stories. The best story I can tell you right now. This is going to be in my childhood memoir. Nobody can steal this one. I'm going to drop it on you right now, though. Fucking my house party, fucking whatever. I'm 15 years old. My mom and dad are like, you know, on the Amish tour. And I'm not even kidding you. The Amish tour in Pennsylvania. And they come home with bags of fucking walnuts that fall from trees. And
Amish tour. What do they do? Go look at quilts? What
yeah,
do
they buy fucking shit and they go and they hang. They do it's a tour. It's an Amish tour. That's all I can tell you. They tour around.
I want to go on an Amish
Yeah,
tour.
they fucking see their buildings and they meet them in the streets and whatever and fucking go on their carriages. I don't fucking know what they did. A bunch of shit, but they go on these tours And my mom would come back and she would have like a spoon from every state that they went through.
Oh my God, that's
Here's
so
my
weird.
fucking North Dakota spoon and my fucking... It was unbelievable. And I was just like, I would be just like, what are we doing? Why do we have spoons?
I remember one of my friends' parents, they had this collection of elephants. Like big elephants, little elephants, like it's just the elephants all over the place. You know how some like people
My
in the
mom's
South,
obsessed with this shit. She has frogs.
yeah,
in
you know how some people in the South will have like a chicken themed kitchen or like cows and shit.
My uncle did.
Anyway,
Marilyn Monroe.
this person had elephants, and then somebody like ruined their life by saying that if you have an elephant figurine and the trunk is down, then that's bad luck. You have to have an elephant figurine with the trunk
Some
up.
Indian shit.
Yeah, like some sort of whatever. And so they looked around and all of their collection was wrong. So they had to get rid of all their elephants, start collecting new elephants with the trunk up. It just fucking
That would depress
devastated
me,
them.
yeah. It's like when you read feng shui for the first time, you're like, oh my God, I've been getting poison darts this whole time.
I know. Can you imagine having those problems where you're like, oh my God, I'm having such a terrible week. All my elephants are wrong.
Dude, I've been living in this house and I've never not been sick. And then somebody who knows feng shui is like, well, because you'd be like, what?
Yeah.
You turn it around, you're like, dude, I do feel better.
I just was like flipping through a feng shui. Is that what it's called?
Feng shui, yeah.
Yeah, they said that.
Feng shui.
They were like, I was just flipping through and I remember they said that you're not allowed you shouldn't have like a water source, like a sink or a tub or anything, or even like a glass of like a flower vase or something in like your northeast corner or something.
Really?
Because that's how you can invite spirits into your house.
Oh, wow.
I was like, oh, damn. How come we don't all know this stuff?
Putting in there, I put
This whole time,
put water
I
in
could
there
be
with
just like,
sugar and make it nice
every time
and
I
sweet.
shower in that corner of my house, I'm inviting demons.
Justin Baldoni got sued again.
Justin Baldoni has racked up another lawsuit.
I mean, obviously,
They're
this
suing
isn't-
Wayfair, so that counts as Justin Baldoni, right?
Yeah, it's
'cause
Wayfair
his company.
Parties. Yeah, well, it's Wayfair actually. Yeah, but
Yeah.
he's a partner. It's that is Heath, Sarowitz,
Yeah.
Baldoni.
So the New York Times has filed an Anti Slapp lawsuit,
Yeah,
citing all the reasons why they had no reason to file their lawsuit, and so it was just retaliatory.
they're gonna go get their money back that they had to spend to defend themselves against a frivolous lawsuit.
What they're asking for is
love it.
no less than $150,000 because that's how much they spent. But they're also hoping that the court awards them damages.
I would love to see them like hit them for $500,000 or something. Be like, you know what? You dragged them in. You embarrassed their brand. You deserve.
The New York Times
suffer.
had to list all the ways in which the Wayfarer's claims against the New York Times was total bullshit, and they listed that one.
Really? I didn't see that. We have to read that.
Oh, it's just really short. It's just a summary, but the one that stuck out to me because I can't remember. I mean, I can't believe that they actually tried this shit. Do you remember when Brian Friedman was like he even went on a show and talked about it, but he definitely had it in his filing, where he was saying that the reporter at the New York Times reached out to them to ask them for comment and let them know that they have a certain window of time to respond before they publish.
Yeah.
And it was like the day before they were going to publish. Okay. And so the reporter from the New York Times said, you have until noon tomorrow to respond. And then the lawyers did their thing and they responded before midnight. And then when the New York Times published at 10 a.m. the next day, they cried foul.
They
and
responded with no
sued-
comment, by the way.
Yes.
So they responded with no comment.
No comment, right.
And then they,
So then the New York Times published at 10 a.m.
as opposed to the noon that they had originally.
Yes,
whatever
but
it
this
was.
is another way in which they distorted that claim where they were like, where the New York Times was like, we gave them until noon to respond. That was what we were asking for. That's
Yeah.
what we gave them, noon to respond. Not, we didn't tell them that we were going to wait until noon to publish it. They just made that up. Like there was no guarantee that they were going to wait until noon. So somehow they're bad people for publishing 2 hours before when the response that they were giving them
It's
until noon
obvious
for
bullshit.
was
Yeah.
total bullshit.
Yeah.
So they cited that again, where they're just like, this entire fucking lawsuit is just garbage. Like it makes no fucking sense.
Trash.
They were, the Wayfair parties had told the New York Times that it was like breach of contracts. And they were like, show us what fucking agreement we ever had with you fools.
Well, so I'm just looking forward to it because it's obviously kind of a small thing in in perspective, but it's a big thing if they get the ruling they want, because if we start seeing Judge Lyman starting to sanction them for their actions, this is going to get this could really start to show how the apple is spoiling for them.
I'm actually really surprised that they're seeking these fees. Aren't you?
No,
Don't you think they would just let it go?
No.
Just be like,
why should they spend $150,000 on some dick nut who hasn't got a fucking brain on his head, fucking sharp enough to know that he can't fucking sue the New York Times for printing a story that they got from a fucking source? I know. Like, you have to be really fucking utterly stupid.
I know.
Or frivolous, right? Or malicious. Or you have to have bad intentions.
It's also extraordinarily bad strategy because the article of the New York Times was, in quotes, "We can bury anyone inside a Hollywood smear machine." Yeah. And then they got this frivolous, fucking baseless, fucking PR lawsuit against them. Like, the Wayfair parties are fucking dumb. If somebody published
Brian Friedman is as dumb as they come when it comes to fucking lawyers. I don't know if dumb is the word. He is incompetent on every level. Yeah. He is arrogant. I've never seen a lawyer so fucking self-indulged in his own client's
And he doesn't even
mess.
care because he's getting paid. So it doesn't fucking matter.
Yeah, he's taking money and trying to,
I can't believe they're gullible enough to go along with it, though. I'm sorry.
No, you're good. I deserve to be spoken over. I'm a small-minded, bad human being.
I don't even know why anybody likes me.
Raised by a trucker. Hey, Hunter S. Thompson's death is going to be reviewed after 20 years of...
no way.
Yeah. And let me tell you, did you ever hear the story of his death? Did you ever hear... What was the story you heard of his death?
You don't know this about me, but I was obsessed with Hunter S. Thompson in high school.
I do know this about you.
I did like reports and stuff. Like, they like assign, like, do a book report on somebody. And I was just like, oh, sweet. I'm going to do it on this fucking weirdo guy nobody's ever heard of.
We have had this conversation before.
Yeah. So I know all about his death. Apparently he told everybody that he was going to depart this realm in this very specific way. And then when it actually happened, they were surprised. But it was very clear that he took his own life with a firearm. He was like super, super gun nut guy, like constantly shooting and being really like reckless with firearms. And so nobody was really surprised. But apparently he had a party. He had a bunch of people in his house at the time that he did. He walked into another room and did it. And so they're saying that they think it was foul play.
It's not true. He didn't.
It's not true.
No, that's not true.
That's not true?
No.
What's not true
about it? I
had
the same. I heard that I don't know where
You didn't hear the same story?
I read it. I believe I read it.
Oh my God, who lied to me?
Yeah, it was a lot. That there was a party.
Yes.
That he threw a big giant party.
Oh, I didn't hear it was giant.
Or
I just heard
a party with his closest people, like Johnny Depp was there. Like
I didn't hear that part either.
Oh well, see,
it was just like there's a bunch of like kids who would help him with his business, and that they were all hanging out and drinking beers and.
Well,
just
I
chilling.
heard it was Johnny Depp. I heard there was like it was fucking loaded up.
The thing you're hearing about Johnny Depp is that he was there for when they launched his ashes into. There was a ceremony where it was like a funeral, but done Hunter S. Thompson's.
I was clearly misinformed.
They put his ashes in a rocket, and Johnny Depp was there for that.
I was clearly misinformed, but that's not what I thought. What I thought was that Johnny Depp was there. Mm-mm. I know, Angela. But you're wrong too.
Yes.
He was actually on the phone with his wife.
No way.
He was on the phone with his wife. Apparently, she mistook.
I didn't know he had a wife.
Cocking of a gun. She mistook that for the tapping of a typewriter.
Okay.
So she did not realize that he apparently shot himself while he was on the phone with her. They were in conversation.
It would have been so loud.
Well, I can't explain any or express any of that. I can just tell you what I read today. And so he had actually written a note, and that some say some believed was a note that he was leaving behind. I will read it for you. It's not in any way all that depressing. Let me find it for you.
Hinata was talking about Wayfair getting sued.
Yeah.
Baldoni sued for over $500 million for a publicity stunt. All I'm waiting is the final number that Baldoni will have to pay.
It's so ridiculously expensive. There was a cheaper way to do it, dude. They could have spent all that money repairing the damage done in so many different ways. They could have actually spent all that money. They could have spent no money. All they had to do was comply. All they had to do was apologize. They could have spent no money and signed that statement and made that public statement.
And just gone on with their lives.
That they were learning as they go. That's all it was supposed to say. At the time, Rolling Stone published what his friend Douglas Brinkley claimed was a suicide note. It read, "No more games. No more bombs. No more walking. No more fun. No more swimming. 67. That is 17 years past 50. 17 more than I needed or wanted. Boring. I am always bitchy. No fun for anybody. 67. You're getting greedy. Act your old age. Relax. This won't hurt.
Oh my God, that's so fucking classic. Hunter S. Thompson.
I fucking love him so much.
What a fucking
He makes me
insane person.
like want to go right. Like,
He's so insane.
Yeah.
He's such a fucking weirdo, dude.
So apparently his
He
wife
just, as
has
a human being, he makes no fucking sense. Like of course it's like profound. It's like also just like a jotted note, and it's so weird to do that. And like, what a fucking bizarre person. He was like, there's never ever been anybody like him, and never will be again.
No,
it's fucking so strange.
Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas was like one of my favorite openings to a book ever, and it was a profoundly moving experience for me to read that for the first time, for sure.
I thought that Terry Gilliam did a really good job. I took a different friend every time to the movie theaters to see Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas because I was so pumped that I was super anticipating that movie because I'd read the book before, and none of my friends knew who this person was. It's like, I went 7 times because I kept discovering a new friend that hadn't seen it, and I was like, "Oh, we have to go together."
Yeah. No, I didn't say there was a new note. Cosmic Urgency is saying that note isn't new. Obviously.
So, okay. So
he's been dead.
You started out by saying they think it was foul play. They're reviewing his death. What does that mean?
No, there's no foul play. His wife has asked for an investigation.
An investigation.
She isn't convinced that she doesn't believe that there was a sufficient investigation so that they could be absolutely sure that he died by his own hand. So the law enforcement officers are just being respectful of that. They're like,
wait, so she believes that somebody walked into the room where Hunter S. Thompson is on the phone.
I cannot speak to what she believes, and nobody has written what she believes. She has. I haven't read anything that says that his wife has any theories, just that she wants an investigation into his death.
Yeah,
and so they're gonna investigate. I don't know that there's anything new, Cosmic Urgency. I just know that she's asked for it and she's getting it, so they're going to investigate. I don't think the police anticipate anything other than to come away with what they already have, which is that he took his own life using a firearm. And anyway, I was like shocked to see it. I was like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
Well, I clicked on it right away because I was like, don't tell me. Because, of course, I was still in my head believing that he had thrown this party, that he went and killed himself at the party. And I was like, there was a part of me that was kind of angry at him for it because I was like, I've sadly had multiple people with whom I had a relationship with, in some cases close relationship, who have died by their own hand. And one of them did it by gun. And I couldn't get over it for a long time. I had a really hard time. Like, I would go walk my dog just to argue with him.
Oh, you were angry?
Like with his spirit, yeah. Why? Because it made me really angry that he would put people through that. I'm a believer in your freedom to do with your life as you choose. Mm-hmm. I'm a big believer in it. I believe in my liberty, and I believed in his. But don't make a mess.
You're angry that he made a mess.
I just can't.
That somebody had to deal.
That somebody had to go through trauma.
Yeah.
So that because of the way in which he chose to deal with his.
Right.
And I loved him, and I was terribly sad when he left us. I was angry, in part because he left us early, and I felt like he stole something from us. Like his life, belonged to all of us a little bit. Mm-hmm. There's that certain feeling of like, hey, you can't just do that, dude. And but it was the fact that he used a gun in his apartment, that he used that gun under his chin, and that somebody had to come in and deal with that. And I was just like, man, it just made me fucking angry.
That's fucking heavy.
So there was a little bit of me that got angry.
So when you heard
Hunter
about
S. Thompson,
yeah.
Except that my understanding was that everybody at the party knew that at some point this was a possibility, because I'd always understood that Hunter S. Thompson had always believed, and there is evidence of it in some of this stuff, that he had always spoken about how. Oh yeah,
he was really forthright about it.
My life is my own.
Yeah, he's like,
if I'm gonna take it.
Yeah, that's the way I'm gonna go out.
I'm not. And another writer wrote that his idol of idols was Ernest Hemingway, who we know also took his own life. Sadly, though, I can't imagine that would be anything to lean on, since his life was taken by virtue of the fact, if I got my facts straight on this, by virtue of the fact that Ernest Hemingway got like shock treatment and all kinds of like primitive psychotherapy or
that's true.
Whatever psychiatric care that
It
was
certainly didn't help, but it probably caused the.
I read some pretty compelling shit. I don't know how real it is because fuck, I don't know anything, but Hemingway also one of my favorites. Anyway, they're going to investigate. The cops don't think they're going to come up with anything. They're like, we are going to do this because his family deserves to feel the peace of knowing. And so we're going to do the investigation.
Oh my God, I bet the cops are still so fucking irritated that they have to deal with Hunter S. Thompson.
When you think about it, though, it's
who's just been an absolute scourge on their community just
no,
forever.
they love him. They.
No, he's a local celebrity, but you think that guy wasn't constantly making trouble and people were constantly being like, hey, yo, is he dangerous?
I don't.
And the cops are like, he's fine.
No, I don't think so. I was going to say, dude, it was a good thing, man. Damn it. All right, we'll see if it comes back. Shit. Oh, I hate when that happens.
Cosmic Urgency said, I assume people aren't thinking clearly when they decide to do that, but I don't know.
I would say that that's probably true. I mean, I certainly wasn't thinking clearly when I was in my state, and you're not. Yeah, I mean, I don't think. I think there are circumstances which you do, but I think those are more medically driven. But if somebody or it could be that there's a predisposition to it, like if Hunter S. Thompson made a contract with himself that he was going to go out that way because that's the way because he wanted control, which I can understand completely.
Cosmic Urgency said also, so many Hemingway family members unalive themselves. There is a really, really interesting stories about like family karma. I don't know how much I believe in the concept of karma, but it's really interesting when you see about some families have stories that, regardless of how anybody tries to break the cycle, just continue through the generations. And it's true, the Hemingway family does have like a lot of really dark
psychiatric, like a dark psychiatric history.
Yeah, but specifically the unaliving as like a thing that people in that family do. It's
so sad, of course. It's just heartbreaking. And Hemingway is like, he could be my favorite writer of all time, like a novelist of all time. If you haven't read him, I mean, other than what you were forced to read, he's...
Hemingway?
Yeah, he's so profoundly beautiful.
My favorite recommendation, it was recommended to me, and so this is why I share it, because I thought it was really smart, that the very best first Hemingway to read is Hills Like White Elephants.
I have not even read it once.
It's very short. It's like a...
Yeah, I have it, actually. I need to read it. I have it because I haven't read it. I will read that probably next. You know what I didn't like was Old Man by the Sea or whatever.
Oh my God, I know. That was required reading. I hated it
and
so
I know
much.
it was all big metaphoric, but it was just like, I was just like, wow, there's so much better Hemingway than this.
I know.
You know, like
I agree.
The Sun Also Rises is just...
I was so irritated every
breathtaking.
time. Like, I think it was 2 years in a row that because I changed schools and they kept making us read fucking Old Man in the Sea.
Yeah, Old Man in the Sea. Like, I get it. I got
so fucking dull.
I love the metaphor.
I get it. It's God. Okay, like, can we move on?
Yeah, I loved all that. It was the crisis. But, like, I just... For Whom the Bell Tolls, An Immovable Feast. These are the, and of course, The Sun Also Rises will just, ugh. Anyway.
Did you want to talk about more items today that we haven't covered yet?
I'm just looking to see if there's anything else now. I think that's it. That's my load. Maybe I'll choose a different. Maybe I'll choose.
There's some things I want to talk about tomorrow. I will save them. I'm
going to read. Now Shannon is like, yeah, Hills Like White Elephants. See, I'm like sitting here talking like I know what I'm talking about. Here's the thing. There's just so much. This is another reason why. And I just want to say before we go, like how much I fucking appreciate you guys. Like I know that there's just a bazillion things you can be doing. There's just so many other people you can listen to. There's so many and you guys hang out with us and it really is so fucking fulfilling and it just feels like such a kindness.
That's true.
So I'm just so grateful and I mean that. Like I know I say it and I feel like sometimes like yesterday when I said it or the other day or whatever, I was like, man, I just hope that people really understand that I really fucking know that you can just do a million other things and instead you're hanging out with us. And so I really am flattered by that and I'm also equally lifted by your company. So I'm so grateful that you're here. I can't remember why I had one more thing to say, but I guess that's it. What do
we
you
can
got?
save it for tomorrow. Like, we're going to talk about Fat Bear Week tomorrow.
Oh yeah, Fat Bear Week, which I first of all I want to apologize for depriving you of any of our commentary.
Videos to share.
We've been
so
having Fat Bear comedy every afternoon over toast and jam, and I was just like today when the winner was announced, I was like, why the fuck were we doing Fat Bear coverage in our fucking live?
I compiled a bunch of videos. We're gonna go through videos tomorrow. They're so delightful. A winner has been crowned. I won't spoil it.
Oh, Renata's going to be working. She's got 3 deadlines next week. So she'll have us on the background, but she's not going to be as active. Well, we'll miss you. And just good luck on those deadlines. I hope you rock your shit. I hope things go extremely well for you. Yeah, the Fat Bears, man. It's so interesting because it's this Fat Bear propaganda. Before we go, the Fat Bear propaganda. Because here's the problem.
Fat Bear propaganda?
Now everybody thinks they're fucking cool. That's how you get your arm ripped off, dude. Oh, look at the Fat Bear. There's a Fat Bear. I'm gonna go hang out with a Fat Bear. And it's
I know.
true,
Somebody was like, "It's so cruel that they made these death machines with those ears.
Exactly.
They're the cutest little ears.
I want to jump on them and
they look so fluffy.
Roll on them and
especially when they're fat, you want to hug them.
Yeah, exactly. I want to engage with bears.
Yeah.
And then when you see them frolicking in the fucking in their habitat the way they are, all fat and ready for a big long sleep.
With their cute little ears.
Oh my God, they're amazing. And they just make you go like, oh.
And they're deadly.
And they will eat you. If they're hungry, you're food, dude. That's all you are.
Yep.
You guys are the greatest people on earth. Thank you so much for hanging out with us. We will see you again tomorrow night. I hope you had fun. I had a fucking blast. Did you have a good time?
Yeah, me too.
Good night, you guys. You are truly the greatest. Good night.